Chapter 1603. Shui Hua's primordial spirit was devoured by Ling Xiao. After being refined, the majestic primordial spirit was turned into the purest energy, which was then refined and absorbed by Ling Xiao. The memories contained in Shui Hua's primordial spirit were also displayed to Ling Xiao. Although Ling Xiao could guess who ordered Shui Hua to kill him, he still wanted to verify it through Shui Hua's primordial spirit. "It's Tang Yao." A sharp light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. So it was actually Tang Yao who wanted to avenge Tang Fei and ordered Shui Hua to kill him. Wang Chuan and the other three from before were Shui Hua's spies, used to monitor Ling Xiao and provide him with information. Gu Qian was secretly contacted by Shui Hua to ensure that nothing went wrong. As the young alliance master of the Hero Alliance, Gu Qian hated Dugu Qiubai to the core, so he wanted Shui Hua to help him deal with Dugu Qiubai. The two of them hit it off and immediately colluded. Ling Xiao understood the cause and effect of the matter, and his eyes became extremely cold. Tang Yao was a true disciple of the Thunder Hall with the cultivation of a 3-revolution half-saint. Most importantly, she was rumored to be Zhan Tianqing's woman, so her status in the Thunder Hall was very high. This woman made Ling Xiao want to kill her. In fact, Tang Fei asked for it. Ling Xiao only taught him a lesson, but this woman was narrow-minded and wanted to kill him. At the same time, Ling Xiao also discovered another thing from Shui Hua's memories. Zhan Tianqing is also in the mythical space. And he found a calamity land. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and his heart skipped a beat. According to Shui Hua's memories, Zhan Tianqing had been cultivating in seclusion all these years, cultivating the indestructible divine technique. He wanted to condense the calamity seed and control the flipping sky seal. This time, Zhan Tianqing found an ancient relic in the mythical space, which was called the Calamity Land. It should contain majestic calamity chi, and he wanted to use it to condense the calamity seed. The Calamity Land, maybe I can get involved. Ling Xiao couldn't help but whisper to himself. The blood-robed child's soul had been refined by Ling Xiao as well. However, the blood-robed child was extremely decisive. Most of his memories had been wiped away, so only a small portion could be vaguely recognized. The ancient saint's legacy that the blood-robed boy spoke of really did exist. However, the blood-robed boy was unable to open the cave residence containing the ancient saint's legacy. Instead, he was heavily injured by the saintly way formation, so he was unable to obtain anything. Interesting. The ancient sage's inheritance is also in the land of calamity. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. He suddenly realized that the ancient saint's cave dwelling in the blood-robed boy's memories was in the catastrophe land where Zhan Tianqing was. What a coincidence. Ling Xiao, looks like you've joined the War God Temple. Congratulations. Dugu Qiubai smiled at Ling Xiao. Senior Dugu, I didn't expect you to be the center of attention wherever you go. You've overshadowed everything else and even made Gu Qian jealous and want to kill you. Ling Xiao also joked with a smile. Ling Xiao, there's no need to call me senior. Let's talk as equals. This time, I entered the mythical space not only to hunt down the blood-robed patriarch, but more importantly, I learned that there's an ancient relic here. It might contain great opportunities, so I'm going to explore it. Why don't we go together? Dugu Qiubai smiled. Then I'll shamelessly call you Big Brother Dugu. Ha! Where's the ancient relic you mentioned? Ling Xiao was also a person who didn't care about trifles, so he laughed heartily. Look, it's in Divine Cloud Valley, 300,000 miles from here. Dugu Qiubai said as he took out an ancient map and pointed at a location on it. Divine Cloud Valley. What a coincidence. Big Brother Dugu, I'm afraid you've never imagined that the ancient saint's legacy that the blood-robed boy spoke of is in Divine Cloud Valley. Moreover, a disciple of the War God Temple should be there as well. This time, it was Ling Xiao's turn to be surprised. He told Dugu Qiubai about the information he obtained from the memories of Shui Hua and the blood-robed boy. He didn't expect that the Divine Cloud Valley that Dugu Qiubai mentioned was the ominous Calamity Land where Zhan Tianqing was. It was also the location of the ancient saint's legacy that the blood-robed boy spoke of. Oh. If that's the case, there's no time to lose. Let's set off immediately. Perhaps we can find something in Divine Cloud Valley. Dogutchobai's eyes flashed as he made a prompt decision. All right. Ling Xiao nodded. The two of them leaped into the sky, turned into two divine rainbows, and shot in the direction of Divine Cloud Valley. Divine Cloud Valley was a dangerous place. It was also a relic of the ancient war. It was shrouded in endless thunderbolts all year round, like a vast sea of lightning. The mountains, rocks, and plants in Divine Cloud Valley were tainted with the power of thunderbolts and were extremely sturdy. Divine Cloud Valley was extremely dangerous. Other than some thunder technique martial artists who might choose to enter Divine Cloud Valley to refine their martial arts and physique, most of them would stay in the periphery of Divine Cloud Valley. Legend had it that the depths of Divine Cloud Valley contained the power of thunder technique origin, which was close to the power of a saint. Even a half-saint expert would die without a doubt. Ling Xiao and Dogutchobai soon arrived at Divine Cloud Valley. Rumble. Dark clouds rolled and lightning flashed. It was as if there were bolts of lightning in the distant sky, covering the vast land and forming a world of thunder. Dogutchobai looked at the blazing world of thunder and said to Ling Xiao, the ancient relic is in the center of Divine Cloud Valley. However, Divine Cloud Valley is fraught with danger, and there are also powerful thunder spirits. We still have to be careful. Thunder spirits? Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. Thunder spirits were creatures condensed from thunderbolts. They could control the power of thunder technique origin and were extremely powerful. Some thunder spirits even had spiritual intelligence comparable to humans. These thunder spirits were similar to the congenital spirit essences that Ling Xiao had obtained before. They could be used as weapon spirits. However, thunder spirits were generally used as weapon spirits of thunder attribute weapons, unlike congenital spirit essences, which had almost no restrictions. Moreover, Ling Xiao's Thunder Emperor skill would definitely improve by leaps and bounds if he could refine a few thunder spirits and extract the power of thunder technique origin from them. That's right. The thunder spirits here are extremely powerful. It is said that there is a thunder spirit king who is comparable to a high-level half-saint. Although the Thunder Spirit King has never appeared, he should not be underestimated. Dogutchobai said slowly. Then, he withdrew his aura in an instant, as if he had become one with the surrounding void. Thunder Spirit King. In this Divine Cloud Valley, if there really is a Thunder Spirit King, I'm afraid his battle strength will increase exponentially. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of seriousness. He became more cautious. He also used the heaven-shrouding secret skill and sneaked into Divine Cloud Valley with Dogutchobai. Chapter 1604. Not long after Ling Xiao and Dogutchobai entered the Divine Cloud Valley, the void fluctuated violently. A bright light bloomed, and an ancient void portal appeared. A group of powerful figures stepped out from it. They were all wearing purple dragon robes. Their faces were dignified and noble, and their bodies were filled with purple light. The men were valiant, and the women were graceful and dignified. The leader was a young man in a golden dragon robe. His long hair draped over his shoulders, and his eyes were like the sun and moon. He exuded a faint holy path aura. He was a First Revolution half-saint. Is this the Divine Cloud Valley? Sure enough, it contains an incomparably rich Thunder Tao origin energy. I've heard that not only is there a powerful thunder spirit here, there are also many Thunder Tao heavenly treasures. If we can temper our cultivation here, we will definitely be able to quickly reach the perfection stage of the Thunder King divine art. A purple-robed man said excitedly. That's right. Most importantly, if Senior Brother Huang is able to capture a few lightning spirits, then he'll be able to condense the Lightning Emperor's true body and cultivate the Lightning Emperor technique to an extremely high level. At that time, he'll even be able to fight a mid-rank half-saint with his Lightning Emperor's true body. A purple-robed woman said. She looked at the young man in the golden dragon robe with admiration. Huang Wuji, the new true disciple of the 9 imperial gates. He was the son of a supreme elder, and his talent was amazing. He was promoted to a first revolution half-saint before the age of 100. He was known to have the potential to become a saint in the future. This time, he brought some inner disciples of the 9 imperial gates into the mythical space to train. Their goal was the Divine Cloud Valley. They wanted to use the Thunder Principle origin energy in the Divine Cloud Valley to cultivate the Thunder Emperor technique. The Divine Cloud Valley is fraught with danger, and the lightning spirits are extremely ferocious. However, their bodies contain an incomparably majestic lightning origin energy, which is of great benefit to your cultivation. You guys set up the 9 Thunder King formation. I will guard you in the middle. We will hunt the thunder spirits. Huang Wuji said indifferently. His voice was filled with unquestionable determination. Yes. The disciples of the 9 imperial gates were very excited. They set up the 9 Thunder King formation according to Huang Wuji's instructions and headed towards the Divine Cloud Valley. Rumble. Dazzling lightning burst forth, and their auras intertwined. In an instant, the light was dazzling, and a purple lightning dragon tens of thousands of meters long rose up. Moreover, it was surrounded by 9 layers of divine light, and it emitted a power fluctuation that could crush everything. This was the 9-fold Thunder King array. Coupled with their trust in Huang Wuji, they were full of anticipation for the trip to Divine Cloud Valley. They even automatically ignored some of the dangers. Lightning blazed in Divine Cloud Valley as bolts of divine lightning streaked across the sky. They were as thick as mountains and contained extremely terrifying power fluctuations. Roar! The purple dragon roared, causing the earth to tremble. The divine lightning in the sky was swallowed by the dragon and turned into the most majestic energy of the Tao of Thunder. It poured into the disciples of the imperial obelisk. Divine light gushed out from their bodies as they inhaled and exhaled a vast amount of lightning energy. Their auras began to skyrocket, and their strength became increasingly powerful. Ha ha ha! With the 9-layered lightning dragon formation and senior brother Huang overseeing it, even a lightning spirit would die for sure. The disciples of the 9-layered imperial gates exclaimed excitedly. Huang Wuji's eyes revealed a hint of pride. Boom! At this moment, the void trembled slightly, and a green lightning appeared. It looked like a lightning in the shape of a human, and it emitted a powerful spiritual fluctuation. It's a green lightning spirit. Catch it! Everyone's eyes revealed a hint of excitement. Immediately, they controlled the 9-fold Thunder Dragon formation and pounced towards the green lightning spirit. The green lightning spirit seemed to have an extremely powerful spiritual nature. With a flash of light, it instantly moved tens of thousands of meters away. It was extremely fast, and it directly avoided the attack of the purple lightning dragon. A mere green lightning spirit dares to be so presumptuous? A sharp light flashed in Huang Wuji's eyes, and he instantly soared into the sky from the 9-fold Thunder Dragon formation. He reached out his hand to grab the green lightning spirit. Mysterious runes bloomed in his palm, as if forming a lightning barrier. The green lightning spirit trembled slightly, as if it was extremely afraid. It wanted to escape, but it was instantly caught in Huang Wuji's palm. Rumble! In the palm of Huang Wuji's hand, the purple rune instantly swallowed the Cyan Thunder Soul, and a vast and pure thunder energy poured into Huang Wuji's body. Suddenly, the divine light around him blazed, and his aura became increasingly strong. There was even a mysterious phantom that was about to appear behind him. That's the Lightning Emperor's shadow. It seems that as long as there are enough lightning spirits, senior brother Huang can condense the Lightning Emperor's true body. Many disciples of the 9-fold imperial obelisk revealed a look of envy and awe. Such a powerful thunder spirit was actually easily caught by Huang Wuji. In Divine Cloud Valley, the green lightning spirit was the lowest level, and its cultivation was comparable to the Divine King realm. But in Divine Cloud Valley, the green lightning spirit had the geographical advantage. Even an ordinary half-saint would find it difficult to catch it. Above the green lightning spirit, there were silver lightning spirits, golden lightning spirits, and even white lightning spirits. They were extremely terrifying. The legendary lightning spirit king was a white lightning spirit. Its power was monstrous, and even high-level half-saints were no match for it. Let's go, Huang Wuji said in high spirits. He led the disciples of the ninefold imperial obelisk into the depths of Divine Cloud Valley. There's actually someone who's recklessly borrowing the Thunder Dao origin energy here to cultivate? Aren't they afraid of alerting a large number of lightning spirits? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He could sense the power of a powerful matrix in the distance. There were also powerful figures devouring the lightning power in Divine Cloud Valley. He and Dugu Qiubai concealed their aura and carefully moved into the depths of Divine Cloud Valley. They avoided the lightning spirits even if they encountered one. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai wanted to find the ancient ruins first, so they did not have any intention of taking the lightning spirits. Although Divine Cloud Valley is dangerous, it will still attract some people who cultivate lightning Dao martial arts. Ignore them. The ancient ruins is in the middle of the valley. Dugu Qiubai's eyes flashed as he said slowly. Divine Cloud Valley was very vast, as if it contained a small world. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai flew for tens of thousands of miles. The lightning here was blazing like a sea of lightning, exuding a majestic destructive power. The lightning in front of them was blazing like a surging sea. Several mountains pierced the sky, surrounded by blazing divine light. Chapter 1605. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai came to the depths of Divine Cloud Valley. The lightning here was incomparably blazing, containing a terrifying destructive power. In the vast sea of lightning, green, silver, and golden lightning spirits wandered, emitting a majestic lightning Dao origin energy. What powerful thunder spirits! Ling Xiao's eyes were solemn. The thunder spirits were like a hornet's nest. If anyone dared to attack the thunder spirits here, even a high-level half-saint would be killed instantly. Let's be careful and avoid the thunder spirits. There should be an ancient thunder principle formation in front of us. As long as we can break that formation, we should be able to enter the relic. Dugu Qiubai's eyes flashed as he pointed ahead. In front of Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai was a strange stone forest. Every stone reached into the clouds as if they could pierce through the sky. They looked very messy, without any order at all, but they were intertwined with terrifying lightning. There was a faint ripple of a powerful formation in the air. This formation is not simple. Even the blood-robed boy was stopped. Ling Xiao nodded. The stone forest intertwined to form a powerful formation. It was the terrifying formation that had stopped the blood-robed boy. Ling Xiao could sense that this broken formation was extremely ancient. It contained a vast amount of thunder origin energy, which intertwined with each other. The baleful qi was like an ocean, extremely terrifying. These thunder spirits are troublesome, Dugu Qiubai said slowly. The thunder spirits had been gathering around the formation. If Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai chose to break the formation, they would definitely alarm the thunder spirits. Brother Dugu, I should be able to break this formation, but I need you to help me lure these thunder spirits away. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he said slowly. This formation should have been a powerful saint path formation. However, after countless years, it was still somewhat broken despite being nourished by the endless lightning in Divine Cloud Valley. Ling Xiao's sky-devouring secret technique was able to devour everything. It could even devour a formation. If it was a complete formation with its own great Dao law, Ling Xiao would not be able to do anything about it. However, it was just a broken formation, and it could not stop Ling Xiao. You want to lure these lightning spirits away? Maybe I can give it a try, but I shouldn't be able to hold on for too long. At most, 15 minutes. Dugu Qiubai's eyes glinted as he nodded. If it had been someone else, they might have had some misgivings. After all, those thunder spirits were very powerful, especially those silver and golden thunder spirits, which were comparable to powerful half-saints. Their power was multiplied in Divine Cloud Valley. However, Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai trusted each other, so even if it was something so dangerous, Dugu Qiubai agreed without hesitation. 15 minutes. That was enough. Big brother Dugu, You can return here in a quarter of an hour. I will bring you into the broken array and give these lightning spirits a big gift. Ling Xiao said with a smile. His eyes were full of confidence. All right. Dugu Qiubai nodded. With a flash, he turned into a faint beam of light and shot into the distance. Ling Xiao also took a deep breath, his gaze turning solemn. Rumble. Not long after, the thunder sea in the distance began to boil. A vast and majestic sword essence erupted, sweeping across the sky and exuding exuberant vitality. This was Dugu Qiubai's life sword Wei, which contained the will of life. The vigorous life force permeated the entire divine cloud valley, causing the thunder spirits to tremble. Each and every one of them went completely crazy, turning into green, silver, and golden bolts of lightning, rushing madly into the distance. In an instant, there were no more lightning spirits in the broken array in front of Ling Xiao. Good chance. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. Without any hesitation, he pounced on the broken array in front of him. Heaven-devouring secret skill, devour. A vast and majestic aura erupted from Ling Xiao's body. His body bloomed with dazzling golden light, which turned into a vast devouring vortex. Behind him, the heaven-devouring divine sea appeared and surged violently. Endless divine power rose and turned into divine chains of order. In an instant, it enveloped the entire stone forest. Crack! The broken array seemed to have sensed the intruder and instantly erupted. Terrifying bolts of lightning rose up, and terrifying lightning creatures emerged from the stone forest. They were like ancient divine beasts, roaring as they charged towards Ling Xiao. At the same time, dazzling Saint Path runes flew out. Like a vast immortal light, they were about to obliterate all life. Not to mention divine kings, even a half-saint would not be able to withstand such terrifying power. Even the broken array was not something that ordinary people could withstand. Rumble. However, the heaven-devouring divine sea was like a vast and mysterious world under Ling Xiao's control. It engulfed all the Saint Path runes and began to devour and refine them. Boundless Saint Path power and extremely pure lightning energy surged into Ling Xiao's body at this moment. This was also the first time Ling Xiao had fully activated the heaven-devouring secret skill since he entered the divine world. As he devoured, the heaven-devouring divine sea became more and more solid, as if an ancient sea was about to emerge. Ling Xiao's aura began to soar. In an instant, he broke through the early Divine King realm and reached the mid-Divine King realm. However, Ling Xiao's main focus was to refine the broken array. Hence, he did not have time to cultivate. The reason why he could break through to the mid-Divine King realm was that his cultivation had reached the mid-Divine King realm naturally. The energy of the broken array was being absorbed and refined by the wordless heavenly book. Ling Xiao had already sensed that the wordless heavenly book was severely damaged. The energy it needed was of a very high level. The Saint Path energy and the pure lightning origin energy in the broken array could barely satisfy its needs. As Ling Xiao devoured the runes, the power of the broken array weakened rapidly. The lightning gradually dimmed. Ling Xiao could vaguely see an ancient palace in the intertwining lightning. It was emitting a vast wave of Saint Path energy. This broken array is connected to the power of the palace. It's impossible to completely devour the energy of the broken array. However, the broken array has been weakened. It's enough for me and Brother Dugu to force our way in. It's a great gift for the lightning spirits. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up as he smiled faintly. He could feel that the energy of the broken array that he had devoured was getting stronger as it continued to absorb the Saint Path energy from the ancient palace. Swoosh! At this moment, Dugu Qiubai turned into a dazzling sword light. He split the lightning in half and shot towards Ling Xiao from afar. Behind Dugu Qiubai were tens of thousands of lightning spirits. They were like thousands of soldiers and horses galloping. They emitted a terrifying aura that made Ling Xiao's scalp tingle. Chapter 1606. Brother Dugu, over here. Ling Xiao shouted. Then, terrifying divine power burst out from his body. He chose the weakest part of the formation and created a huge gap. Dugu Chilbai was extremely fast. He rushed into the gap in an instant. Just as those lightning spirits were about to chase after him, Ling Xiao softly uttered a single word. Explode! Boom! Mysterious ancient talismans emerged from the void and intertwined with each other. The mysterious talismans rose and exploded at the same time. It was as if suns had exploded in the void at the same time. The scene was extremely shocking. Even Ling Xiao and Dugu Chilbai were pushed back by the force of the explosion. They flew for thousands of feet before they finally entered the relic. Those were the hundreds of talismans that Ling Xiao had prepared in advance. Ling Xiao used the talismans to detonate the formation to stop powerful enemies. Now, he used it again to stop the thunder spirits. The force of the explosion of hundreds of talismans was nothing. However, they were in Divine Cloud Valley. Moreover, there was a terrifying energy fluctuation hidden in the formation. The explosion was like poking a hornet's nest. It triggered a terrifying lightning power that swept across the sky and formed a terrifying storm, blocking all the thunder spirits outside. Rumble. The blazing lightning was so dazzling that it lit up the sky. Let's go. Ling Xiao called out to Dugu Chilbai and was about to rush into the formation. After all, the formation had become extremely weak after being devoured by Ling Xiao. If the thunder spirits rushed into the formation, it would be very troublesome. Ling Xiao and Dugu Chilbai had to get rid of the thunder spirits as soon as possible. Ling Xiao, look. Dugu Chilbai's eyes suddenly flashed with a hint of surprise. Ling Xiao turned his head, and suddenly discovered that a huge gap had been blown up in the broken matrix. However, those thunder spirits were still lingering outside the broken matrix. They were exuding a violent murderous aura. However, it seemed that they were very afraid. They didn't dare to enter the broken matrix. A majestic and ancient palace appeared in front of Ling Xiao and Dugu Chilbai. It floated in the sky, looking as mysterious and glorious as the heavenly palace. The palace exuded an extremely vast and majestic saintly way aura. It was this saintly way aura that made the lightning spirit extremely fearful, not daring to enter the incomplete formation. That's strange. Those lightning spirits actually don't dare to enter the broken formation. Could it be that they are afraid of the Saint Dao aura here? There was a look of understanding in Ling Xiao's eyes. No matter what, this is a good thing for us. Let's go in and take a look. Dugu Chilbai nodded. The broken formation seemed to be able to absorb the Saint Dao aura around it. The gap slowly began to close up, blocking all the lightning spirits outside. Let's go. Ling Xiao nodded and flew toward the palace in the sky with Dugu Chilbai. Divine Firmament Palace. Ling Xiao and Dugu Chilbai had just landed on the plaza in front of the palace when they saw the three ancient characters. They were like dragons flying and phoenixes dancing. They contained a vast amount of true intent. Upon closer inspection, it looked as if there were three dazzling lightning bolts coming toward them. They contained the origin of the way of lightning. Ling Xiao could feel that the divine firmament palace before him contained a vast amount of saintly way aura. It was ancient and mysterious. It had been there for countless years, yet it was still immortal and eternal. Divine Firmament Palace? Legend has it that the Divine Firmament Palace is an ancient sacred ground. The Divine Firmament destructive lightning method of our war god Hall is said to have originated from the Divine Firmament Palace. This place is also called the Divine Firmament Palace. Could the two be related? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he spoke softly. Divine Firmament Palace and Divine Firmament Valley. Perhaps they are related. After all, legend has it that this is the cave abode of a thunder sage. Let's be careful. There might be some powerful traps inside. Dugu Chilbai nodded. After all, this was the cave abode of a sage. The sage taught all living beings and controlled the origin of the way. He possessed supreme power. Once he attained the way and became a sage, he would be a big shot in the divine world. He could even break free from the restrictions of the divine world's laws and travel the universe. He was very powerful. The means of the sage were mysterious and unpredictable. Even Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai were very careful. However, Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai found that the gate of the Divine Firmament Palace was open. They did not have to spend any effort and walked in directly. Could it be that someone has already come in? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat, and he became even more cautious. Both of them restrained their aura to the extreme. They slowly walked into the Divine Firmament Palace like two shadows. The Divine Firmament Palace was very quiet. There were no restrictions or formations at all. Ling Xiao did not feel any danger either. This is strange. Let's look around. Ling Xiao was full of doubts. How could the Divine Firmament Palace be open just like that? It was as if the owner of the Divine Firmament Palace had opened the door to welcome guests. There were no fluctuations of formations. Ling Xiao could feel that the Divine Firmament Palace was shrouded in a layer of extremely powerful Saint Path formation. It was far more powerful than the broken formation outside. But now, there was no movement at all. The Divine Firmament Palace was huge. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai looked around and soon found that there were alchemy rooms, weapon refining rooms, cultivation rooms, formation rooms, and so on. The Divine Firmament Palace was all-encompassing. It was like a sect of an immortal holy land. Let's go check out the alchemy room first. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He and Dugu Qiubai pushed open the door of the alchemy room. At the center of the alchemy room was an 8-trigram alchemy furnace. There were many purple gold gourds hanging around it. Those purple gold gourds were obviously used to store elixirs. They were powerful treasures, but now they looked dim and had lost their essence. There were even mottled rust marks on them. How many years has it been since someone entered the Divine Firmament Palace? 10 million years. 100 million years. Or an era. Dugu Qiubai was also very surprised. They opened those purple gold gourds and found that most of the elixirs inside had become useless. Their essence had all been lost. Even powerful elixirs could not withstand the baptism of time. 9 revolving sacred elixir, eternal creation elixir, 9 aperture sacred elixir, dragon blood sacred elixir, heavenly king elixir. What a waste. These elixirs have all become useless. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai opened those purple gold gourds one by one. They felt their hearts bleeding. So many sacred elixirs were all useless. Many of them were legendary elixirs that had been lost. Ling Xiao, it seems that the Divine Firmament Palace has existed for so long that all the elixirs have become useless. Chapter 1607. That's right. The elixirs have lost their spirituality. I think even the weapons in the refining room are useless. Let's go take a look. Ling Xiao was also very disappointed. However, he suddenly sensed a strange fluctuation and looked at the 8 trigrams elixir furnace in the middle. The 8 trigrams elixir furnace looked dim. It was supposed to be a powerful treasure. However, he was not sure if it was a divine artifact or a holy artifact. The fire in the furnace was completely extinguished. However, Ling Xiao sensed a faint trace of vitality from the 8 trigrams elixir furnace. Brother Dugu, this 8 trigrams elixir furnace is not simple. Let's open it and take a look. Ling Xiao said slowly with a flash of divine light in his eyes. All right. Dugu Qiubai nodded. He did not sense anything strange. However, the 8 trigrams elixir furnace was the only thing in the refining room that he had not checked yet. Boom! Ling Xiao suddenly grabbed the lid of the alchemy cauldron and tried to lift the lid with his divine power. However, even though Ling Xiao's divine strength surged, he could not feel the elixir furnace moving at all. It was as if there was a terrifying attraction force from within, preventing Ling Xiao from lifting the lid. Something's not right. At this moment, even Dugu Qiubai noticed that something was wrong. Clang! A dazzling sword radiance burst out. Sword chi rose from Dugu Qiubai's palm and slashed at the 8 trigrams elixir furnace. His sword radiance was extremely sharp and contained an indestructible force. He wanted to slash the 8 trigrams elixir furnace open. However, when the sword radiance slashed at the 8 trigrams elixir furnace, the sound of metal clashing could be heard. Sparks flew everywhere and the 8 trigrams elixir furnace did not even leave a mark on it. This 8 trigrams elixir furnace is a treasure. I don't believe that I can't open it. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up, and he instantly became ruthless. Rumble. Purple light rose from his right arm. His meridians were like dragons, exuding a terrifying energy fluctuation. After being refined by the Calamity Chi, his Qilin arm possessed terrifying strength. Ling Xiao used all his strength to grab the lid of the 8 trigrams elixir furnace. The power of the Qilin arm exploded, and the 8 trigrams furnace finally reacted. The runes around the 8 trigrams cauldron lit up. The radiance was dazzling. In an instant, an endless amount of multicolored light gushed out and illuminated the entire alchemy room. 3 golden pills flew out from the cauldron. They looked like 3 resplendent divine suns. Dugu Qiubai reacted quickly and caught the 3 golden pills. Boom! Dugu Qiubai felt his body sinking. His arm was instantly broken, and he almost knelt on the ground. The 3 golden pills smashed onto the ground and made a loud rumbling sound. So heavy. Dugu Qiubai said with a bitter smile. His eyes were filled with shock. He finally understood why the 8 trigrams furnace was so heavy. It was not because of the 8 trigrams furnace, but because the 3 golden pills were too heavy. They were comparable to tens of thousands of ancient divine mountains. Even Dugu Qiubai's body could not withstand it. Just as he grabbed the 3 pills, his arm was immediately fractured. What kind of pills are these? Ling Xiao couldn't help but be stunned. The 8 trigrams cauldron had become much lighter. He put down the cauldron and carefully studied the 3 pills. He could feel that the 3 pills were incomparably heavy, but he didn't know what kind of pills they were or what their uses were. Ling Xiao, you keep them first. These 3 pills should not be simple. Let's study them properly after we get out. Dugu Qiubai glanced at them and then looked away. Although the 3 pills were not ordinary, Dugu Qiubai was a pure sword cultivator and did not rely on external items. He was not very interested in such pills, so he asked Ling Xiao to keep them. All right. I'll keep them first. Ling Xiao studied them for a long time, but he did not find anything. In the end, he smiled bitterly and kept the 3 pills and the 8 trigrams cauldron into the wordless heavenly book. Come, let's go to the alchemy room. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai left the alchemy room and headed to the alchemy room. There were dozens of huge shelves in the alchemy room, and each shelf was filled with all kinds of weapons. However, those weapons had lost all their spirituality and had become scrap metal. Divine weapons and half-saint treasures cannot last forever. After tens of millions of years, their power will be exhausted and they will become scrap metal. Only a flawless holy treasure can survive the vicissitudes of time and last forever. Dugu Qiubai said slowly. The weapons in the alchemy room were all divine weapons and half-saint treasures. There were no flawless holy treasures, so Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai did not find anything. Next, Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai went to the formation room and martial arts room, but they did not find anything either. Finally, Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai's eyes fell on the 3 rooms that they had not entered yet. Sword Pavilion. Lightning Pool. Sacred Hall. These were the last 3 rooms. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai had not entered them yet, but they could feel that the 3 rooms were exuding a vast and mysterious aura. However, Sword Pavilion and Lightning Pool were sealed by a very mysterious restriction. If they barged in recklessly, they might trigger the Divine Firmament Palace's defensive formation. Ling Xiao was hesitating whether he should use the sky-devouring secret skill to break the seals of Sword Pavilion and Lightning Pool. At this moment, an old and calm voice rang in Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai's ears. My 2 little friends, please come into the sacred hall for a chat. As the voice fell, the door of the sacred hall slowly opened, and a majestic holy path aura was emitted. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai could not help but be shocked. There was someone in Divine Firmament Palace? Thinking of the open door of Divine Firmament Palace, Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai looked at each other with a solemn look in their eyes. Let's go. Let's go in and have a look. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai were both decisive people. They only hesitated for a moment before stepping into the sacred hall. They also wanted to see who was the first to enter Divine Firmament Palace. The sacred hall was located in the deepest part of Divine Firmament Palace, as if it was the core of Divine Firmament Palace. It was a huge palace, exuding a faint mist and holy path aura. It was very peaceful. A white-robed old man with white hair and beard sat cross-legged at the head of the holy hall. He looked benevolent and sage-like. His whole body exuded a transcendent and unfathomable aura. His eyes were deep and full of vicissitudes, containing wisdom that could see through the world. Is it just a spiritual body? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He saw that the white-robed elder was just a spiritual body and did not have a physical body. However, his aura was extremely powerful and unfathomable. He was at least a high-level half-saint. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai could not help but be on guard. My two little friends, don't be so restrained and vigilant. It's your fortune to be able to see me. Chapter 1608. May I know who you are? Why are you in the Divine Firmament Palace? Ling Xiao cupped his fists at the white-robed elder. Ling Xiao was trying to guess the white-robed elder's identity. He could sense that the white-robed elder was extremely powerful, but he had a spirit body. Could he be an artifact spirit? You can call me Old Lei. I am the Divine Firmament Saint's subordinate and also the artifact spirit of the Divine Firmament Palace. The white-robed elder said slowly. The artifact spirit of the Divine Firmament Palace? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. Could it be that Elder Lei was an existence similar to Uncle Su? Uncle Su was the Great Void Temple's artifact spirit. After all, the Divine Firmament Palace had existed for hundreds of millions of years. Even a sage could not live that long. Only an artifact spirit could survive from ancient times until now. That's right. This Divine Firmament Palace is the cave abode left behind by my master, the Divine Firmament Saint. Although my master has passed away, his legacy needs to be inherited. You are the first humans to enter this place in countless years. You are qualified to obtain the Divine Firmament Saint's legacy. However, a sage's legacy cannot be easily passed down. If you want to obtain the sage's legacy, you have to undergo a test. Old Lei said calmly with a hint of emotion in his eyes. Who is the Divine Firmament Saint? Is he also a human powerful practitioner? Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai looked at each other, then asked Elder Lei. The Divine Firmament Saint is indeed a human powerful practitioner and someone from the same era as the 9 Thearchs. At the beginning of the New Age, he experienced the Great Celestial Demon War and killed countless demon sages and other races' sages. He was very famous and was a general under the Celestial Thearch. He made great contributions to the human race. However, after that battle, the Divine Firmament Saint was also exhausted. That was why he left behind his cave abode, the Divine Firmament Palace, and many other legacies for the fated ones. Who would have thought that so many years would pass in the blink of an eye? Old Lei sighed. The Divine Firmament Saint is actually a human ancestor. How admirable! Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai were filled with respect. A hint of yearning appeared in their eyes. The Celestial Emperor was the first great emperor of the human race. It was because of the Celestial Emperor's appearance that the human race ended the Dark Age. Under the Celestial Emperor's lead, the human race conquered the heavens and became the Epoch Lord. The Divine Firmament Saint was actually the Celestial Thearch's general. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai were filled with admiration. Since the two of you were able to enter Divine Firmament Palace, it is your opportunity and also your fortune. As long as you pass the Divine Firmament Saint's test, you can obtain the Divine Firmament Saint's legacy. Are you ready? Old Lei said to Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai. We are willing to accept the test, but who is the test? Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai looked at each other and nodded. There are a total of 3 stages. As long as you pass all 3 stages, you will naturally be able to obtain the Divine Firmament Saint's legacy. The first test requires you to go to Divine Cloud Valley and find a piece of Dragon Blood Thunder Yuan Iron and a piece of True Phoenix Stone. As long as you find them and bring them here, you will pass the first test. However, I have to remind you that the Dragon Blood Thunder Yuan Iron and True Phoenix Stone are supreme treasures. They are guarded by powerful lightning spirits or divine beasts. This test will test your battle prowess, wisdom, and skills. I hope you can pass. Old Lei smiled faintly. Dragon Blood Thunder Yuan Iron and True Phoenix Stone. Divine Cloud Valley actually has such supreme treasures. Ling Xiao could not help but be shocked. The Dragon Blood Thunder Iron and True Phoenix Stone could be said to be top-notch treasures of heaven and earth. They could be refined into flawless holy treasures. Moreover, they could be refined into supreme-grade holy treasures. They were extremely precious. Even saints would fight for them. The Dragon Blood Thunder Yuan Iron was refined from the blood essence of the dragon race's sage. It was enhanced by the yang energy of heaven and earth. It was a supreme yang treasure iron. The True Phoenix Stone, on the other hand, was the resting place of the ancient True Phoenix. It was formed by the condensation of the aura of the True Phoenix, and contained the most gentle power of Yin. Ling Xiao had never thought that Divine Cloud Valley would have these 2 treasures. This is the Divine Cloud Jade Pendant. There is a trace of the old master's Sage Path aura on it. As long as you have the Divine Cloud Jade Pendant, the lightning spirits outside will not dare to attack you. Go back quickly. A purple jade pendant appeared in Old Lei's palm. In an instant, it flashed and landed in front of Ling Xiao. Divine Cloud Jade Pendant. Thank you, Old Lei. Ling Xiao accepted it. With this Divine Firmament Jade Pendant, even if he encountered those lightning spirits when he went out, he would not be afraid. Ling Xiao indeed felt a trace of incomparably powerful holy Dao power from it. That was a power that even lightning spirits feared. Let's go. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai left Divine Cloud Palace and headed outside to Divine Cloud Valley. Ling Xiao, do you think that Old Lei is really the weapon spirit of Divine Cloud Palace? Dugu Qiubai asked Ling Xiao telepathically. Oh. Big brother Dugu, are you suspecting that Old Lei? I'm not sure, but regardless of whether he is the weapon spirit or not, we have to be careful. It's better to be vigilant. Ling Xiao said telepathically. He had a vague feeling that something was not right. However, he did not feel any malicious intent from Old Lei. Therefore, Ling Xiao was not sure if Old Lei was the weapon spirit of Divine Cloud Palace. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai decided to search for the Dragon Blood Lightning Metal and True Phoenix Stone together. Crack! Ling Xiao once again used brute force to break the array. The Divine Cloud Jade Pendant in his hand emitted a purple light and a mysterious aura that shrouded Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai. There were still many lightning spirits gathering outside the array. However, when they sensed the aura of the Divine Cloud Jade Pendant, they immediately retreated as if they were frightened. Is it really working? Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai looked at each other. Only then did they feel relieved and walked out of the array. They then flew into the distance. While Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai were searching for the Dragon Blood Lightning Metal and True Phoenix Stone. In an ancient cave in Divine Cloud Valley, a young man in purple armor with long purple hair and a vigorous and majestic figure opened his eyes. His eyes were deep and bright, like the vast starry sky. No one dared to look at him directly. At that moment, a seed surrounded by chaotic fog was floating in front of him. It was as if it could absorb endless energy from the heavens to nourish his body. It was mysterious and unpredictable. I finally formed the Tribulation Seed. Now I can try to open that array. Perhaps I can really find the Divine Cloud Saint's legacy inside. The man's eyes were filled with anticipation. Rumble. He stood out of the cave. Purple lightning surged around him, and the fabric of space shook violently. It made him look even more unfathomable. He took a step forward, and ripples appeared in the fabric of space. Then, he slowly disappeared into the fabric of space. Chapter 1609. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai left Divine Cloud Palace to search for the Dragon Blood Thunder Iron and True Phoenix Stone. The Dragon Blood Thunder Iron is an item of extreme yang. It is nurtured in an extreme yang place while the True Phoenix Stone is nurtured in an extreme yin place. Since Elder Lei said that these two treasured metals exist in Divine Cloud Valley, we should be able to find them as long as we find the extreme yang and extreme yin places. Dugu Qiubai said slowly to Ling Xiao. That's right. Heaven and earth are divided into yin and yang. The lightning is also divided into yin and yang. It's not a coincidence that there are so many lightning bolts gathered in Divine Cloud Valley. It must be the convergence of the yin and yang lightning forces to form this sea of lightning. Ling Xiao's eyes glinted with wisdom. When he was in the War God plane, he had consumed the heavenly law of thunder tribulation tea from the Emperor. In addition, he had inherited the Thunder Emperor technique. Therefore, Ling Xiao was extremely sensitive to the power of lightning. He was able to sense that while the sea of lightning in Divine Cloud Valley seemed chaotic, there was a convergence of yin and yang thunderbolts, forming a mysterious aura. That was why it was able to attract so much power of thunderbolts. Over the years, Divine Cloud Valley was formed. You're right. I can also feel that the extreme yang place should be that mountain peak. As for the extreme yin place, it's hard to say. It's hidden so deeply that I can't sense it. Dugu Qiubai's eyes glinted as he looked at the tallest mountain peak in Divine Cloud Valley. The mountain peak looked like a divine sword soaring into the sky. It was extremely sharp and exuded a monstrous fluctuation. Endless lightning could be vaguely seen rising and condensing, exuding an extreme yang fluctuation. Brother Dugu is right. That's the extreme yang place. Let's go and take a look. Ling Xiao's eyes glinted as he and Dugu Qiubai turned into two divine rainbows and flew toward the Divine Sword Mountain Peak. Rumble. The Divine Sword Mountain Peak was tens of thousands of feet tall and connected heaven and earth. It stood above the 9 heavens as if it was the intersection of heaven and earth. The lightning here was extremely terrifying and contained a powerful destructive fluctuation. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai looked serious. The void here was distorted and there were even cracks in the void. Even a half-saint expert would die here. The divine firmament jade pendant that Elder Lei had given them was very special. Not only could it scare away the lightning spirit, but it could also isolate their aura and prevent the lightning from attacking them. However, Ling Xiao's heaven-shrouding ancient talisman could do the same. Hence, he did not care about the divine firmament jade pendant. The two of them landed on the Sword God Mountain and began to search the surroundings. However, they still found nothing after searching the entire Sword God Mountain. Let me try. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. Since the Dragon Blood Thunder Yuan Iron was condensed from the blood essence of the Dragon Saint, he should be able to sense the whereabouts of the Dragon Blood Thunder Yuan Iron by activating the dragon bloodline in his body. Roar! A dragon's roar rang out from within Ling Xiao's body. In an instant, the void trembled and the lightning seemed to become even more intense. Ling Xiao could faintly feel the faint fluctuations of lightning coming from the top of the Divine Sword Mountain. Over there. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as his gaze landed on a black rock at the top of the Divine Sword Mountain. The rock looked very ordinary. Even though it was extremely sturdy after being struck by countless lightning bolts, Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai had overlooked it. It's this energy again. How can it be ignored by others? This should be something that can only be done when one's heart force is extremely strong. Ling Xiao's eyes trembled slightly. He recalled the energy contained in the 2 plaques of the Creator Ghostly Lord in the underground palace. It was very similar to the fluctuations of this black rock. If Ling Xiao had not activated the dragon bloodline in his body and sensed the fluctuations of this rock, he would not have noticed it. Ling Xiao cultivated the Great Void Charm Scripture and knew that he might be able to do this if he had cultivated it to the 6th level of the Great Void Charm Scripture, the prominent divine realm. However, he was still very far away from the prominent divine realm. Ling Xiao, are you saying that this is the Dragon Blood Thunder Yuan Iron? It shouldn't be. This black rock is very ordinary. Dugu Qiubai was also slightly confused. He also knew about the Dragon Blood Thunder Yuan Iron. The Dragon Blood Thunder Yuan Iron was a kind of supreme treasure iron. It was dazzling and had a strong dragon aura. It was completely different from this black rock. Let me give it a try and see if I can break this black rock. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. Suddenly, divine energy rose from his body. His right arm exuded a monstrous purple aura. The unparalleled divine energy turned into a fist and punched the black rock violently. Wang! The void trembled slightly. Ling Xiao's fist went through the black rock as if it had punched into the void. The lightning in the distance became more intense and chaotic. There's a space formation. This black rock is just a disguise. Dugu Qiubai also noticed that something was wrong. Ling Xiao and the black rock did not seem to exist in the same time and space. His punch was like fishing for the moon in the water. He did not even touch the black rock. What a powerful space formation. I'm afraid it was left behind by a sage. If this is really the Dragon Blood Thunder Yuan Iron, I'm afraid it's not simple. Ling Xiao's gaze also turned slightly serious. Let me give it a try. Dugu Qiubai's eyes flashed. Sword essence rose around him and exuded a fluctuation that could destroy everything. All right. Ling Xiao nodded. Dugu Qiubai's destruction sword principle and life sword principle were very unique. Perhaps they could really break this space formation. Although Ling Xiao could also use the sky-devouring secret skill to devour the power of the formation, this space formation was obviously much more powerful than an incomplete formation. Even if he could devour it, he did not know how long it would take. Wang! The sword light around Dugu Qiubai was blazing. An ancient sword appeared in his hand. Then, he stabbed the sword at the black rock in front of him. However, Ling Xiao could feel that there were two opposing forces in Dugu Qiubai's body. Yet, they were perfect and terrifying. Light and darkness, life and death, extreme yang and extreme yin. All of these forces were gathered in the sword. Dugu Qiubai's face turned pale at a speed visible to the naked eye. Using this move was extremely taxing and stressful for him. Crack! However, Ling Xiao could clearly see that the void in front of him trembled violently. In the next moment, Dugu Qiubai's sword pierced through the void. The sword light was extremely sharp. It did not lose its momentum and stabbed into the black rock. Boom! The black stone was like a small sun, directly gushing out. Endless divine light bloomed, dazzling, and accompanied by a powerful dragon roar, swept away the surrounding thunder. Chapter 1610. Dragon Blood Thunder Iron. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai were both pleasantly surprised. They had indeed obtained the Dragon Blood Lightning Iron after breaking through the spatial formation. The black stone was just a cover for the others. Ling Xiao suddenly frowned slightly. He raised his head to look at the blazing sea of lightning in the distance and said slowly, "Brother Dugu, do you feel it? The Dragon Blood Lightning Yuan Iron seems to have destroyed some sort of array in Divine Cloud Valley. The lightning energy here is becoming more chaotic." That's right. The Dragon Blood Thunder Yuan Iron seems to have been sealed here by someone. It seems to be a treasure used to suppress the eye of the formation. It has two extremes of yin and yang. The true Phoenix Stone must be the same. I wonder what changes will happen to Divine Cloud Valley after we get our hands on these two treasures. Dugu Qiubai nodded. Originally, Divine Sword Mountain should have been a place of extreme yang. Endless lightning gathered here and its aura was terrifying. However, after the space formation was destroyed and the Dragon Blood Thunder Iron was taken out, the lightning here dissipated. Whoosh! At this moment, a figure with a powerful aura rushed toward Divine Sword Mountain at an extremely fast speed. Ling Xiao frowned and immediately put away the Dragon Blood Lightning Yuan Iron. The aura of the Dragon Blood Thunder Iron was too strong. The vast dragon roar when it came out must have attracted the attention of some people. A young man dressed in a black robe instantly landed on the divine sword mountain. He looked heroic and extraordinary. However, his face was very cold and arrogant. His eyes were full of indifference. His aura was very powerful. He had already reached the cultivation of the first revolution semisage. Hey, are you a disciple of War God Temple? The black-robed young man's eyes flashed when he saw Ling Xiao. He asked faintly. Ling Xiao was wearing the uniform of War God Temple. Moreover, there was the fluctuation of War God token on him. Ling Xiao did not hide it, so the black-robed young man recognized him at a glance. I am Long Outyen, a disciple of War God Temple. Greetings, senior brother. Ling Xiao said calmly. He could sense that the black-robed young man was also a disciple of War God Temple. He was surrounded by blazing lightning and exuded a powerful aura of Thunder Principle. He should be a disciple of Thunder Hall. Someone is willing to join War God Temple. How strange. The name Long Outyen sounds familiar. I am Lei Kun from the Thunder Hall. Why have you come to Divine Cloud Valley? When the black-robed young man, Lei Kun, heard that Ling Xiao was from the battle hall, a look of disdain appeared in his eyes. He said coldly with a hint of scrutiny. So it's senior brother Lei Kun. I'm here with a friend to train in Divine Cloud Valley. We won't delay senior brother Lei Kun any longer. Farewell. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he spoke. So he is a disciple of the Thunder Hall. Ling Xiao could not help but think that Zhang Tianqing should be in Divine Cloud Valley. Lei Kun and Zhang Tianqing should have some sort of relationship. Wait. In a flash, Lei Kun appeared in front of Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai. Senior brother Lei Kun, is there anything else? Ling Xiao furrowed his brows. Just now, I sensed the birth of a treasure on this mountain. It's emitting a dazzling light. You should have obtained it, right? Take it out and show it to me. Lei Kun said coldly. There was an unquestionable determination in his voice. A treasure has been born. I'm afraid senior brother Lei saw wrongly. The lightning here must be too intense. Senior brother Lei must have seen wrongly. I didn't obtain any treasure. Senior brother Lei, please move aside. Ling Xiao said indifferently. He felt a little annoyed. Lei Kun was indeed attracted by the dragon blood lightning iron. I saw wrongly. How is that possible? Long Outyen, hand over your storage magic treasure for me to search. If you dare to deceive me, you should know the consequences of a mere inner disciple. Lei Kun's eyes were cold as he spoke arrogantly. He treated Ling Xiao like a new inner disciple. After all, Ling Xiao's cultivation was too deceptive. Even if he had devoured the energy of the formation, he was only at the mid-divine king realm. Ling Xiao's eyes turned cold as he said coldly, Lei Kun, what right do you have to search my storage magic treasure? If I say I don't have it, I don't have it. Move aside, or don't blame me for being rude. Rude? How are you going to be rude? You're just an ant. It's your fortune that I'm willing to search your storage magic treasure. Don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Lei Kun's eyes flashed with a cold light. Brother Long, I didn't expect the War God Temple to be a bunch of bastards who bully the weak and fear the strong. I think you should stop talking nonsense with him and just beat him up. Dugu Qiubai said indifferently as a sword light flashed in his eyes. You're courting death. Lei Kun was immediately angered. Dugu Qiubai only seemed to be a great perfection god king, yet the two of them did not show him any respect at all. They even wanted to beat him up. Was there something wrong with their heads? Boom! Lei Kun stretched out his hand and slapped towards Ling Xiao. His palm was filled with lightning and it was aimed at Ling Xiao's face. It was a very arrogant move. Ling Xiao's eyes turned cold. The disciples of the Thunder Hall were indeed the same. Divine energy surged around his body as he clenched his right fist. Purple chi filled the sky as it turned into a purple fist and blasted towards Lei Kun. Ling Xiao unleashed the strength of the qilin arm without holding back. Crack! As the fist and palm collided, a terrifying divine power gushed out. Lei Kun, who had a sneer on his face, suddenly changed his expression. The lightning in his palm exploded, and even his arm was blasted apart by Ling Xiao's punch. Ling Xiao's punch was extremely ferocious. It landed directly on Lei Kun's face and sent him flying. His teeth were all broken and he spat out a mouthful of blood. His eyes were filled with shock and anger. You've also cultivated the indestructible divine technique? I know it now. So you're Long Outyen who said that he wanted to fight for the flipping sky seal. You're dead meat. Senior brother Zhan Tianqing won't let you go. Lei Kun roared furiously, his eyes filled with cold killing intent. As soon as Ling Xiao attacked, he immediately felt the terrifying power contained in Ling Xiao's punch. More importantly, he sensed the tribulation qi in Ling Xiao's body. He immediately thought of Ling Xiao's origin. Lei Kun's eyes showed a hint of fear. Although he had been cultivating in the divine devil space, he had heard of Long Outyen's name. He had defeated Wu Chen, who was a great divine king, with 3 punches. He had also cultivated the indestructible divine technique. Most importantly, didn't Xuehua go to hunt him down? Why was he still alive and kicking? Lei Kun knew that Xuehua had obtained Zhan Tianqing's permission to hunt Ling Xiao. Now that Ling Xiao was safe and sound, Xuehua was probably dead. Zhan Tianqing is also in the Divine Cloud Valley. Where is he? Chapter 1611. Long Outyen, senior brother Zhan Tianqing has already condensed an indestructible calamity seed. You're courting death if you want to fight him for the cyclic sky seal. I'll spare your life today. Your life belongs to senior brother Zhan Tianqing. Lei Kun's eyes were extremely cold. After taking a deep look at Ling Xiao, he immediately turned around and flew into the distance. He was very decisive. After knowing Long Outyen, he knew that he might not be able to defeat Long Outyen. If he stayed, he would only be humiliating himself. Therefore, he decisively chose to leave. Ling Xiao did not choose to pursue Lei Kun. The Hall of War prohibited disciples from killing each other, especially true disciples. Once it was discovered by the sect, it would be severely punished. More importantly, Ling Xiao did not take Lei Kun seriously. Lei Kun was just a subordinate of Zhan Tianqing. Ling Xiao, I've heard of Zhan Tianqing's name. He's very famous among the disciples of the 12 immortal sacred grounds. Rumor has it that he has the bloodline of the war tribe and is very accomplished in the way of thunder. If he's also in Divine Cloud Valley, you'll have to be careful. Dugu Qiubai said slowly. It's all right. I'd like to meet senior brother Zhan Tianqing. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. There was a strong desire to fight in his eyes. There was indeed a lot of calamity qi in Divine Cloud Valley. However, Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai's target was the inheritance of the saints in Divine Cloud Palace. They had not had the time to absorb the calamity qi to cultivate. They did not expect Zhan Tianqing to have already condensed an indestructible calamity seed with the calamity qi here. It seemed that Ling Xiao had to speed up. Only by condensing a calamity seed could he hope to compete with Zhan Tianqing for the right to control the cyclic sky seal. Let's go and find the true phoenix stone. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai left the mountain peak to search for the true phoenix stone. After the dragon blood thunder yuan iron was taken out, some strange changes seemed to have taken place in Divine Cloud Valley. The yin and yang poles were destroyed, and the thunder here became more and more intense. Originally, the place of extreme yin was hidden very deeply, but now a trace of it was revealed. Finally, Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai came to a valley. The lightning here was somewhat weak. The lightning showed a black light and was dense with powerful yin qi. This was the place of extreme yin. Someone's here. Ling Xiao's eyes flickered as he sensed a powerful aura emanating from the valley. It was extremely chaotic, as though there was an intense battle going on. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai looked at each other. They immediately concealed their presence and sneaked into the valley. In the valley, there was a dense black fog. A group of figures with powerful auras formed a huge formation. It was like a purple lightning dragon that was attacking a huge beast in the center. Roar! The beast's roar shook the heavens and the earth. The giant beast looked very strange. There were purple thunderbolts all over its body. It looked like a lion. The fur all over its body was purple, and its eyes were like blood moons. It was extremely fierce. The scales all over its body clattered, and its limbs exuded an extremely powerful aura. That giant beast seemed to have the strength of a third revolution half-saint. It was extremely terrifying. Could this be a primordial variant, the purple lightning lion? Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat as he recognized the origin of this giant beast. The purple lightning lion was a primordial variant. It was said that it was a divine beast that could control lightning. Its strength was unparalleled, and it was the mount of a saint. An adult purple lightning lion not only had the strength of a saint, it was also extremely fast. It could travel through the void and control lightning. This purple lightning lion seems to be no match for them. These people are actually disciples of the 9 imperial gates? Dugu Qiubai said slowly. Among the dozen figures besieging the purple lightning lion, the leader was a young man in a purple dragon robe. He had a heroic bearing and extraordinary arrogance. He was a first revolution half-saint. The others were all in the great divine king realm. They were the disciples of the 9 imperial gates, Huang Wuji's group. Although their cultivation didn't seem to be strong, the purple lightning lion was actually at a disadvantage. Wang! A purple bead floated above the purple lightning lion's head. It shone brightly and emitted blazing lightning. It was incomparably mysterious. It formed an incomparably powerful barrier that enveloped the purple lightning lion. Moreover, it seemed to be devouring the purple lightning lion's power. Coupled with the 9-layered thunder dragon formation, the disciples of the 9 imperial gates erupted with an extremely powerful force. They were constantly suppressing the purple lightning lion, trying to make it submit. I didn't expect Divine Cloud Valley to have a primordial variant like the purple lightning lion. Only a purple lightning lion is worthy of being my mount. Huang Wuji's eyes were filled with a blazing light. Under his control, the purple bead seemed to have turned into a mysterious vortex that was constantly devouring the purple lightning lion's power. If this continued, it wouldn't be long before the purple lightning lion's power was exhausted. At that time, he would be able to find a way to subdue the purple lightning lion. It's the thunder source bead. Rumor has it that the thunder source bead is an ancient sacred treasure. It's not unique to the 9 imperial gates. There are a total of 36 thunder source beads. These 36 thunder source beads are a set of top sacred treasures. It's just that they have been lost for a long time. I didn't expect the 9 imperial gates to have a thunder source bead. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he thought to himself. He also had a thunder source bead that he had obtained from the mythical space. Legend had it that the 9 imperial gates had bestowed a flawless sacred treasure to the great Zhou dynasty, Sky Sword College, and Overlord College. Now, he saw another one. The thunder source beads could sense each other. When Ling Xiao sensed the thunder source bead, Huang Wuji also sensed Ling Xiao's aura. Who's there? Come out. Huang Wuji's eyes turned cold as he shouted at Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai. Although Ling Xiao's heaven-shrouding secret technique could conceal his own aura, it couldn't conceal the thunder source bead's senses. Therefore, Huang Wuji instantly discovered him. Looks like I have to keep this thunder source bead in the wordless heavenly book in the future. Ling Xiao laughed bitterly in his heart. The thunder origin bead was in his sea of consciousness. By refining the thunder origin bead, he could also quickly comprehend and cultivate the thunder emperor technique. However, the chi connection between the thunder origin beads was too strong. Unless he kept it in the wordless heavenly book, he would be able to completely conceal that connection. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai walked in from outside the valley. Who are you guys? Huang Wuji's eyes flashed coldly as he looked at Ling Xiao with a hint of scrutiny. He could sense that the fluctuation of the thunder source bead came from this person before him. This meant that this person had at least one thunder source bead on him. Especially after seeing Ling Xiao and Duguqiubai's cultivation, Huang Wuji's eyes were filled with disdain. He didn't care about the cultivation of a mere divine king. We're just passing by. You guys can continue. Don't mind us. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Passing by. Kid, you have the aura of the thunder source bead on you. The thunder source bead is the supreme treasure of the 9 imperial gates. Kneel down and hand over the thunder source bead with both hands. Then, I can spare your lives. Chapter 1612. Are you talking about this? A light flashed in Ling Xiao's hand as the thunder pearl emitted a blazing light. It was dazzling as it appeared in his palm. The surrounding thunderbolts seemed to be attracted by the thunder pearl. It really is the thunder pearl. Kid, hand over the thunder pearl and get out of here. Huang Wuji's eyes lit up. The thunder source beads were a set of supreme treasures. There were a total of 36 beads, and they had been lost since ancient times. The thunder source bead in Huang Wuji's possession was obtained at a great cost. If he was able to obtain another thunder source bead, his strength would definitely skyrocket. He never thought that there would be such an unexpected surprise in Divine Cloud Valley. Ling Xiao looked at Huang Wuji with a smile that was not a smile. He then put away the thunder origin pearl and said slowly, "Why should I?" Huang Wuji's expression instantly turned gloomy. He had always been a man of his word. Countless people in the ninefold imperial obelisk flattered him. Even the true disciples with higher cultivation than him were very polite when they saw him. This had nurtured his arrogant character. Ling Xiao's behavior was simply a humiliation in his eyes. Kid, you're dead meat. The thunder pearl is a treasure of the ninefold imperial obelisk. If you dare not hand it over, no one can save you today. Huang Wuji's voice was extremely cold. Ling Xiao looked at Huang Wuji as if he was an idiot and said, "Are you crazy? The thunder pearl is an ancient treasure. What does it have to do with the ninefold imperial obelisk? Don't threaten me. I'm the last person to be afraid of threats." Duguqiubai also shook his head slightly. Huang Wuji in front of him seemed to be extremely talented and his cultivation was not weak. However, his temperament was too weak. How did such a person survive the nirvana tribulation? Very well. If you don't hand it over, then you can go to hell. Huang Wuji's eyes were blazing with murderous intent. His body exuded a powerful aura as he instantly pounced towards Ling Xiao. Roar! The purple lightning lion was also extremely smart. When it saw Huang Wuji pouncing towards Ling Xiao, it immediately felt that it was a good opportunity to escape. It roared and a powerful sound wave spread in all directions. The violent power of blood and chi around it erupted, wanting to break through the seal of the ninefold thunder dragon array. You're courting death. The disciples of the 9 imperial obelisks sneered without the slightest hint of worry in their eyes. Roar! A dragon's roar shook the heavens and earth. The purple thunder dragon formed by the 9-layered thunder dragon array exuded a monstrous dragon's aura. It seemed to have formed a mysterious connection with the thunder origin bead in the void. The aura between the two grew stronger. The purple lightning lion charged at the purple lightning dragon. Not only did it fail to break through the defense of the array, it was also slapped away by the purple lightning dragon. The surrounding sea of thunder rose, and the heaven and earth trembled. The terrifying power of the array covered the sky and the sun, and the aura was shocking. The 9-layered thunder dragon great array was extraordinary. Moreover, it had the thunder source bead as the eye of the array. Coupled with the special location of the Divine Cloud Valley, it allowed a group of Divine King Realm disciples to trap the Third Revolution Half-Saint Purple Lightning Lion and gain the upper hand. No matter how much the Purple Lightning Lion roared and furiously attacked, it was still unable to break out of the 9-layered Lightning Dragon formation. Bang! On the other side, Ling Xiao threw a punch at Huang Wuji, who was charging at him. When the two fists collided, blazing lightning exploded. Ling Xiao and Huang Wuji were both shocked and retreated at the same time. You're just a middle-stage divine king. No wonder you're so arrogant. It turns out that you have a strong body. However, no matter how strong your body is, you're still going to die. Huang Wuji's eyes were slightly surprised, but he sneered. Bright runes rose from his palm, and the vast lightning around him was attracted to him. They turned into powerful weapons and shot towards Ling Xiao. At the same time, a mysterious figure faintly appeared behind Huang Wuji. It made his aura even more terrifying. It was as if he was a heavenly emperor who controlled lightning. Every strike had an earth-shattering power. The Thunder Emperor's shadow. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He had obtained the Thunder Emperor technique, so he could naturally recognize that Huang Wuji had also cultivated the Thunder Emperor technique. Moreover, Huang Wuji had reached the minor completion realm and condensed the Thunder Emperor's shadow. This allowed him to erupt with the strength of a second revolution half-saint. Boom! The heavens and earth trembled violently. Ling Xiao threw a punch. His Qilin arm erupted with unparalleled divine power. It was like a purple divine sun that rose up and blasted towards Huang Wuji. The powerful weapons formed by the lightning were directly smashed by Ling Xiao's punch. The blazing lightning fell on Ling Xiao's body, causing the sound of metal clashing and sparks to fly in all directions. Ling Xiao's body seemed to be cast in gold. His qi and blood were incomparably violent. After rushing towards Huang Wuji, he threw a punch at Huang Wuji's face. Such an unscrupulous attack made Huang Wuji both shocked and furious. Terrifying holy light spread all over his body, and the phantom of the Thunder Emperor behind him seemed to have merged with his entire being. Shocking lightning burst out, like streaks of sword light, directly piercing towards Ling Xiao. Kacha! Ling Xiao's gaze was extremely sharp. The blazing sword light was extremely sharp as well. It was formed from the origin energy of the Way of Thunder. It directly pierced through his skin, leaving behind streaks of blood. It also wanted to surge into his body. The blazing light behind Ling Xiao surged and turned into a vast devouring vortex. It devoured the sword light that filled the sky. Ling Xiao faced the endless sea of lightning and charged towards Huang Wuji. You even dare to devour the Thunder Emperor's sword qi? You're courting death. Huang Wuji's eyes were filled with a sneer. Those sword lights were the Thunder Emperor's sword qi. It was invincible. It was one of the major offensive means of the Thunder Emperor technique. If a half-step sage dared to forcibly refine it, he would be shattered by the sword qi, let alone a divine king brat. However, he didn't know that Ling Xiao had also cultivated the Thunder Emperor technique. Moreover, Ling Xiao's body was incomparably strong. It could even devour the tribulation qi, let alone the Thunder Emperor's sword qi. Whoosh! 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 The lightning around Huang Wuji rose and turned into blazing sword light in the void. It contained an invincible power fluctuation and shot towards Ling Xiao at an extremely fast speed. However, Ling Xiao did not reject them. The Thunder Emperor's sword qi was like 100 rivers flowing into the sea as he devoured them. The sword qi was refined by the Thunder Emperor technique and devoured by the heaven-devouring secret technique. They were all turned into the most original power of thunder and began to nourish and refine Ling Xiao's physical body. Ling Xiao was extremely fast. He arrived in front of Huang Wuji in an instant. The terrifying power of the Qilin arm erupted. A monstrous fist print blasted towards Huang Wuji. This was just a simple punch, but the fist print was grand and vast, containing an indestructible power. It was as if the celestial emperor had swept across the heavens and the myriad realms, enveloping Huang Wuji's entire being. What? Huang Wuji trembled all over. There was a trace of disbelief in his eyes. The power of this punch was too terrifying. How could a brat in the Divine King realm perform such a terrifying fist technique? Kacha! Huang Wuji's body was filled with divine brilliance. He pushed out his arms. Endless lightning rushed towards Ling Xiao. However, it was broken by Ling Xiao's punch in an instant. Only a crisp sound was heard. Huang Wuji's arm was broken. A bloody mist exploded in the void. A blazing light burst out, and Huang Wuji was sent flying, smashing into the mountain wall in the distance. Suddenly, the earth shook, and the mountain range trembled. Even the mountain peaks suddenly collapsed. Chapter 16:13. Rumble. Lightning flashed and rocks flew everywhere. Huang Wuji had smashed a mountain peak, creating an extremely shocking scene. However, Ling Xiao frowned slightly. Although his punch had shattered Huang Wuji's arm, it seemed to have hit an indestructible barrier when it came into contact with Huang Wuji's chest. It did not cause any harm to Huang Wuji. How is this possible? That kid is only a divine king. How could he defeat senior brother Huang Wuji? Everyone in the 9 imperial obelisk was dumbfounded. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. Impossible. Senior brother Huang Wuji is a genius. It's impossible for him to be defeated. He must have not used his full strength. That's right. This kid must have sneak attacked senior brother Huang Wuji. He's too shameless. Many disciples of the 9 imperial obelisk had blind faith in Huang Wuji as they discussed among themselves. Roar! 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 Just as they were distracted, the purple lightning lion roared furiously. The lightning around its body was dazzling and its blood chi was monstrous. It almost broke the 9-layered thunder dragon formation. The disciples of the 9 imperial obelisk were so frightened that they quickly focused and continued to suppress the purple lightning lion. What no one noticed was that Dugu Qiubai had disappeared without them noticing. Whoosh! Huang Wuji rushed out of the mountain peak. His body was shrouded in dazzling light. Runes revolved around him, forming a powerful barrier that protected Huang Wuji. Although he was in a sorry state, he was not seriously injured. The power of Ling Xiao's punch had been completely blocked by the barrier on his body. This is a Saint Path barrier. Ling Xiao frowned slightly. The golden enchantment on Huang Wuji's body was still filled with blazing lightning. The mysterious divine path runes seemed to be connected with the surrounding heaven and earth. It was very powerful. It was the divine path enchantment left behind by a saint. However, a Saint Path barrier required the consumption of Saint Path origin energy. Saints would rarely leave behind a Saint Path barrier except for their close relatives. This meant that Huang Wuji had a saint behind him. The Holy Way boundary was very powerful. It contained the Holy Way origin of a saint. Even a high-level half-saint would have a hard time breaking it. It was no wonder that Huang Wuji had been so arrogant even after coming to Divine Cloud Valley, capturing the purple lightning lions without a care in the world. It turned out that he had the divine barrier on him, which made him invincible. Brat, you're dead. No one dares to treat me like this. Your physical body is very strong indeed, but you can't break through my Saint Dao barrier. I'll exhaust you to death today even if I have to exhaust you. Huang Wuji hated Ling Xiao to the core and said in exasperation. Really? Let's see if I can break your tortoise shell. Ling Xiao sneered and used a secret art of teleportation. His feet were like a stream of light, and he appeared tens of thousands of meters away in an instant. The qi and blood around him rose, and a powerful dragon roar was heard. He threw a punch at Huang Wuji. Ling Xiao also became ruthless. So what if there was a Saint Path boundary? This Huang Wuji was really asking for a beating. Ling Xiao also wanted to test how strong the legendary Saint Dao barrier was. Boom! Ling Xiao's speed was so fast that he arrived in front of Huang Wuji. Huang Wuji's expression changed, and he threw a punch, trying to block Ling Xiao's attack. But Ling Xiao took advantage of the opportunity to grab his arm, and then kicked out. Ling Xiao's kick could even shatter an immemorial divine mountain, but when it landed on Huang Wuji's body, it made Huang Wuji tremble violently. The Saint Path boundary emerged again, and neutralized Ling Xiao's kick. Boom! 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 Ling Xiao threw hundreds of punches in a row. Each punch exploded with extreme power and speed. He smashed Huang Wuji from the sky to the ground, and then from the ground to the sky. But there was not even a ripple on the Saint Path boundary. Ling Xiao could feel that the runes in the Saint Path boundary were connected perfectly with heaven and earth. The power that Ling Xiao blasted on Huang Wuji was ingeniously transferred to heaven and earth. It was like a drop of water falling into the sea, and there was not even a wave. Although Huang Wuji did not suffer any injuries, Ling Xiao's fist momentum was vast and contained a trace of the Emperor's fist's conception. The heavy power passed through the saintly Wei barrier and still shook Huang Wuji until he was dizzy and embarrassed. Huang Wuji was like a live target. He was blasted around by Ling Xiao, and the entire valley was a mess. Ah! I'm going to kill you. Huang Wuji was about to go crazy. It was a great humiliation to be beaten up like a live target. He could not bear it at all. Terrifying lightning rose around him, and the Thunder Emperor's shadow seemed to come alive. It threw a punch at Ling Xiao, and suddenly, endless lightning fell towards Ling Xiao. Crack! Ling Xiao's fist collided with the Thunder Emperor's shadow. Suddenly, the void trembled, and lightning exploded. Ling Xiao could not help but retreat. This guy's tortoise shell is really hard. Ling Xiao laughed bitterly, feeling a little defeated in his heart. He finally saw the power of the Saint Path boundary. Even if he took out the Xian Kun sword, it would be difficult to break the Saint Path boundary. Whoosh! At this moment, Dugu Qiubai's figure silently rushed out of the valley. In his palm, there was a reddish-gold stone. It looked like it was emitting a brilliant light, and golden flames surrounded it. The faint cry of a phoenix could be heard from it. The true phoenix stone. Dugu Qiubai had taken advantage of the chaos to enter the valley and brought the true phoenix stone out. Originally, the purple lightning lion was guarding the true phoenix stone. However, the purple lightning lion was trapped by the disciples of the 9 imperial gates, and Dugu Qiubai obtained the true phoenix stone without any effort. Let's go. This guy has a Saint Path boundary. We can't break it. Dugu Qiubai said to Ling Xiao. Since they had obtained the true phoenix stone, there was no need to stay here any longer. Damn it! You have the true phoenix stone. That's mine. You two thieves and robbers, I won't let you go. Huang Wuji saw the true phoenix stone in Dugu Qiubai's hand and immediately understood what Dugu Qiubai was doing. He naturally recognized the true phoenix stone, and his lungs were about to explode from anger. Yes, we can go now. Before we leave, I'll give this guy a big gift. Ling Xiao laughed coldly. He did not take Huang Wuji's hysterical roars to heart. Light flashed in his palm, and the Thunder Origin Pearl appeared in his palm. Rumble. Chapter 16:14. The Thunder Pearl exuded a mysterious aura, causing the surrounding thunderbolts to go berserk. Even the Thunder Pearl that was imprisoning the purple lightning lion started to tremble violently. The Thunder Pearls were connected to each other and were originally one. When Ling Xiao activated the power of the Thunder Pearl, it immediately triggered the reaction of the other Thunder Pearl. Rumble. A blazing storm formed between heaven and earth, containing a wave that could destroy everything. It instantly shrouded the disciples of the 9 imperial obelisk who were casting the 9-layered thunder dragon formation. The thunderstorm had erupted. The Thunder Pearl could trigger the thunderstorm. After Ling Xiao triggered the thunderstorm, he immediately flew out of the valley with Dugu Qiubai and headed into the distance without looking back. Damn it! Huang Wuji roared furiously, his eyes filled with monstrous fury. The terrifying thunderstorm struck, causing a flaw to appear in the 9-layered thunder dragon formation. The purple lightning lion seized the opportunity and rushed out of the 9-layered thunder dragon formation. Roar! 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 The purple lightning lion roared, its eyes blood red. It roared in the endless thunderbolts and charged towards Huang Wuji. Huang Wuji staggered and then ran away. The purple lightning lion was smart. Although it was furious and wanted to kill the humans who imprisoned it, it knew that it was no match for them. If it continued to stay, it would probably be captured by them. Therefore, it chose to run away. In the valley, the thunderstorm was raging. Ling Xiao, Dugu Qiubai, and the purple lightning lion had all run away. Only the screams of the disciples of the 9 imperial obelisk and the roars of Huang Wuji were left. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai did not stay and returned to the divine firmament palace. Swoosh! However, when Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai entered the remnant of the formation, they suddenly realized that the purple lightning lion had followed them in without them noticing. Roar! The purple lightning lion rushed into the remnant formation and roared at Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai. There was a trace of gratitude and vigilance in its eyes. It knew that Ling Xiao had triggered the thunderstorm to save it. However, it was instinctively wary of humans. This guy actually knows how to hide his aura. Ling Xiao was a little surprised. The purple lightning lion in front of him was not as majestic as before. It had actually shrunk to 3 feet in size, looking like a puppy. Its purple fur was very soft, like satin, and it had a fluffy lion head. Its eyes were wide open, and its body was round. It looked very cute. This guy hid his aura and hid in the lightning. He followed Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai all the way to the divine firmament palace. I can't give you this true phoenix stone. I have great use for it, so just treat it as a reward for saving you. What do you think? Ling Xiao thought for a while and smiled at the purple lightning lion. The purple lightning lion nodded, then shook its head. It stood in front of Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai, looking adorable. It just didn't want to leave. Are you trying to follow us? Ling Xiao asked tentatively. This purple lightning lion was an ancient mutant. It was very powerful. It looked like it hadn't reached maturity yet, but it already had the strength of a 3rd revolution half-saint. Once it reached maturity, it would be a demonic saint. Even Huang Wuji coveted it and wanted to catch it as a mount. Can you bring me outside to have a look? But I don't want to be anyone's mount. Suddenly, a child's voice was heard in Ling Xiao's mind. It sounded a little childish, like a child's voice. You are, the purple lightning lion? Ling Xiao was slightly stunned. Yes, it's me. I want to go outside with you, but you can't bully me. If you do, I'll beat you up. The purple lightning lion said in its childish voice. It then waved its little paw to show off its power. All right. Then you can follow me from now on. But you have to be obedient. Otherwise, I'll throw you away. Ling Xiao said after some thought. He and Dugu Qiubai looked at each other with a strange look in their eyes. This was an ancient mutant purple lightning lion. How could it follow Ling Xiao so easily? Huang Wuji tried his best to tame the purple lightning lion but failed. In the end, the purple lightning lion escaped. Now, it had followed Ling Xiao so easily. If Huang Wuji knew about this, he would be so depressed that he would vomit blood. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai walked into the divine firmament palace together. The purple lightning lion followed behind them obediently. Its eyes were full of curiosity. In the sacred hall, Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai met Elder Lei again. Elder Lei, this is the dragon blood thunder iron and the true phoenix stone. Take a look. Ling Xiao's hand flashed as he took out the dragon blood thunder iron and the true phoenix stone. In an instant, the sound of a dragon and a phoenix resonated. The light was so dazzling that it lit up the entire sacred hall. It is indeed the dragon blood thunder iron and the true phoenix stone. You have even tamed the purple lightning lion. Not bad, not bad. You have passed the first test. Elder Lei said with a smile. There was a hint of satisfaction in his eyes. Elder Lei, what is the second test? Dugu Qiubai asked slowly. Do you know why I asked you to find the dragon blood thunder iron and the true phoenix stone? Elder Lei did not answer directly. Instead, he asked a question of his own. The dragon blood thunder iron and the true phoenix stone are treasured metals of extreme yang and yin. They can be used to refine top-grade sage treasures. At the same time, They are the combination of yin and yang. Could it be that they have other uses? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a divine light. The divine firmament sage cultivates both the Tao of lightning and the Tao of swords. He has extremely profound attainments in both. The dragon blood thunder iron contains the Tao of lightning and is a treasure used to refine lightning-type sage treasures. The true phoenix stone is a top-grade treasure used to refine swords. The second test will test your understanding of the Tao of lightning and the Tao of swords. Elder Lei smiled faintly. Could it be the sword pavilion and the lightning pool? Ling Xiao thought of the two sealed houses. The sword pavilion and the lightning pool both had powerful seals. That's right. Your second test is to use the dragon blood thunder iron and the true phoenix stone to open the sword pavilion or the lightning pool. The sword pavilion has the sect returning swords array, and the lightning pool has the bombardment of lightning array. Only when your understanding of the Tao of swords and lightning has reached the peak can you withstand the power of these two arrays. You will pass the second test if you bring the items from the arrays to me. Elder Lei said slowly. Okay. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai nodded in agreement. Dugu Qiubai naturally chose to use the true phoenix stone to enter the sword pavilion and take the sect returning swords array test. Meanwhile, Ling Xiao chose to use the dragon blood thunder iron to enter the lightning pool and take the bombardment of lightning array test. However, Ling Xiao could not help but feel that something was amiss. He did not know what it was exactly. Big brother Dugu, be careful. Ling Xiao said seriously to Dugu Qiubai. You too. Chapter 16:15. Crack. The sword pavilion's powerful seal shattered instantly in front of the true phoenix stone. The true phoenix stone was like the key to opening the sword pavilion, allowing Dugu Qiubai to enter easily. Ling Xiao also entered the lightning pool with the dragon blood lightning essence iron. Rumble. Dazzling light shone in front of him as the void trembled. Bolts of lightning as thick as mountains pierced through the sky, exuding a terrifying destructive power. In front of Ling Xiao, an incomparably gigantic lightning pool appeared. It was ancient and mysterious, like a vast lake. Resplendent lightning tribulation liquid flowed within the lightning pool like nectar. Ling Xiao could vaguely sense that there was a very powerful treasure in the center of the lightning pool. Boom! 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 As if sensing Ling Xiao's aura, the originally calm lightning pool began to boil. Bolts of lightning shone brightly, exuding powerful energy waves. Ling Xiao could sense that an extremely mysterious and ancient array formation had awakened in the lightning pool. Dazzling light shone, and heaven and earth trembled. Bolts of lightning seemed to emanate from the void. Ling Xiao felt a very mysterious aura as if it was enveloping all life in the world. Tribulation aura. Only lightning that was infused with tribulation aura could be called heavenly lightning tribulation. Otherwise, it could only be ordinary lightning. Although it could be very destructive, it could not be used to break through at all. The so-called lightning tribulation was to allow the person undergoing the tribulation to comprehend a higher realm at the moment of life and death. Only then could they break through and reach the peak. The mysterious power in the lightning pool had awakened, and each bolt of lightning contained a bolt of tribulation aura. There were more than tens of thousands of bolts of lightning in the void. This was the bombardment lightning array. It used the power of the Sage Tao to unleash the power of billions of lightning tribulations. It was extremely terrifying. Tribulation aura. What a great opportunity! Ling Xiao's eyes lit up as he faced the bombardment lightning array. He was a little excited. There were tens of thousands of bolts of tribulation aura here. He did not know whether it was left behind by the divine firmament saint or formed by the bombardment lightning array over countless years. Such a terrifying lightning tribulation was enough to kill a half-sage, but it was a great opportunity for Ling Xiao. Rumble. Ling Xiao blasted out a punch. His fist was incomparably powerful, and directly blasted apart a powerful lightning tribulation. Then, he used the myriad tribulation's indestructible saint technique to devour the tribulation chi. The myriad thunderclap array was very mysterious. It contained the power of the lightning Tao. Perhaps the divine firmament saint's original intention was to let people experience the lightning Tao's origin through the tribulation transcendence within the myriad thunderclap array. However, he did not expect Ling Xiao to be able to devour the tribulation aura. Whoosh! 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 Strands of tribulation chi were extracted by Ling Xiao. They were as sharp as blades as they merged into Ling Xiao's body. After circulating in Ling Xiao's body, they were refined by the Kulpa indestructible saint technique and began to refine Ling Xiao's body. Purple light rose from Ling Xiao's left arm. As he continued to devour the tribulation chi, his left arm seemed to have been torn apart by billions of streaks of sword light. It would then reform. His body became even more resilient during this process. 100 strands of tribulation chi, 1,000 strands of tribulation chi, 5,000 strands of tribulation chi. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in the lightning pool. He did not resist the power of the myriad thunderclap array at all. Instead, he chose to use his body to withstand the power of the lightning tribulation. At the same time, he used the heaven-devouring mystic technique to devour the lightning energy within the lightning pool. This was the purest lightning energy. No one knew how many years it had been accumulated. It was endless and extremely pure. After being refined and devoured by the heaven-devouring mystic technique, Ling Xiao's cultivation level soared. Mid-stage Divine King Realm. Late-stage Divine King Realm. Perfected Divine King Realm. As Ling Xiao continued to devour the energy in the pool of lightning, his presence became more and more terrifying. In particular, he had refined over 10,000 strands of tribulation chi, which had tempered his 4 limbs. They contained extremely terrifying energy, as if he could shatter the sky with a single punch and shatter the earth with a single stomp. This myriad thunderclap array had completely become Ling Xiao's great fortuitous opportunity and great fortune. Ling Xiao entered a state of cultivation. It was as if he had forgotten about time and everything else. His aura was extremely mysterious. Streaks of lightning gathered around him and formed an extremely mysterious shadow behind him. The Lightning Emperor's Shadow. As the energy within the lightning pool gathered, the illusory figure gradually became clearer. As long as the Lightning Emperor's shadow could comprehend the Lightning Tao origin energy and refine enough lightning energy, he could condense the Lightning Emperor's real body. He would be able to unleash 10 or even 100 times his combat strength. Take Huang Wuji for example. If he could condense the Lightning Emperor's real body, he would be able to fight a 3rd Revolution half-saint with his cultivation level of 1st Revolution half-saint. He might even be able to kill a 3rd Revolution half-saint. This was the terror of the Lightning Emperor's real body. It was said that the Lightning Emperor's technique was actually passed down by one of the 9 emperors, the Lightning Emperor. It was called the Lightning Emperor's technique. However, the Lightning Emperor's technique had been lost for a long time. An ancestor of the 9 imperial gates used the incomplete Lightning Emperor's technique as a foundation to comprehend a peerless saint technique. Ling Xiao obtained the inheritance of the Lightning Emperor's technique. Although he mainly refined the tribulation chi and raised his cultivation level in the lightning pool, due to the vast amount of lightning energy in the lightning pool, his comprehension of the Lightning Emperor's technique had improved by leaps and bounds. Kacha. After an unknown period of time, Ling Xiao slowly opened his eyes. It was as if 2 bolts of lightning had pierced through the void. It was mysterious and majestic. Ling Xiao had devoured all the liquid in the pool of lightning. His cultivation had reached the great perfection of God King as well, so all the energy that had been nurtured in the pool of lightning for countless years had been devoured and refined by him. Over 10,000 strands of tribulation chi had refined all of his limbs. Ling Xiao even felt that he could condense a tribulation seed if he wanted to. However, Ling Xiao resisted the temptation. He decided that he had to refine his entire body before condensing a perfect tribulation seed. This was the best opportunity to refine his body. Ling Xiao did not want to let it go. Ling Xiao wanted his body to reach sainthood, so he knew that every step had to be done perfectly. Only then could his body reach sainthood. Is this the treasure in the lightning pool? A gleam of light flashed through Ling Xiao's eyes. He devoured all the lightning liquid in the lightning pool, and an ancient stone box appeared in the center. Ling Xiao opened the box and discovered a violet key inside. The violet key was extremely ancient. It pulsed with extremely mysterious pulses. There were characters on it, and the mysterious symbols seemed to contain the laws of the world. The key of the Lightning Emperor. The moment Ling Xiao saw the key, two words naturally appeared in his head. The key of the Lightning Emperor? What's that? Is it related to the Lightning Emperor? Chapter 16:16. Ling Xiao came out of the lightning pool with the key of the Lightning Emperor. Dugu Qiubai had already come out of the sword depository with a strange stone in his hand. It shone brightly and exuded a vast sword intent. Moreover, Ling Xiao felt that Dugu Qiubai had become more harmonious. His aura was unfathomable, and he was no longer as arrogant as before. The sword intent around him could be perfectly concealed. His aura was perfect, and he had improved in swordsmanship. It seemed that Dugu Qiubai had also obtained a great opportunity in the sword depository. Ling Xiao, what did you get from the lightning pool? I found a piece of Heaven Sword Stone. This Heaven Sword Stone actually contains the Heaven Sword secret technique. Dugu Qiubai glanced at the holy hall in the distance and sent a voice transmission to Ling Xiao. Heaven Sword Stone, Heaven Sword mystic technique? Ling Xiao was shocked. Divine Firmament Palace actually has the Heaven Sword mystic technique? Did the Divine Firmament Saint also cultivate the Heaven Sword mystic technique? What puzzled Ling Xiao was that according to Old Lei, the Divine Firmament Saint was the Celestial Thearch's general. However, the Celestial Thearch and the Lightning Emperor were not from the same era. Why would the key of the Lightning Emperor be in the lightning pool? I found this, the key of the Lightning Emperor. Ling Xiao took out the key of the Lightning Emperor and sent a voice transmission to Dugu Qiubai. Don't you think that Old Lei is lying? I suspect that he is not Divine Firmament Palace's artifact spirit. Dugu Qiubai sent a telepathic message with a sharp glint in his eyes. Big brother Dugu, you can tell. I do have my suspicions, but Old Lei hid it very well. I might have guessed his true identity. Let's go and meet this Old Lei. Ling Xiao sneered and walked toward the holy hall with Dugu Qiubai. All right. I will give you this Heaven Sword Stone. Let's see what this Old Lei is up to. Dugu Qiubai said slowly. There seemed to be a dazzling sword aura in his eyes that pierced through the void. In the holy hall, Old Lei was still sitting high up in the seat of honor. His white robe was flawless, and his aura was unfathomable. He looked otherworldly. Old Lei, we were fortunate enough to not let you down. We've already found these two treasures from the lightning pool and the sword pavilion, the key of the Lightning Emperor and the Heavenly Sword Stone. With a flash of light, the key of the Lightning Emperor and the Heavenly Sword Stone appeared in Ling Xiao's hands. Very good. Ha ha ha. You really didn't disappoint me. You've finally obtained the key of the Lightning Emperor and the Heavenly Sword Stone. You can be considered to have passed the second test. Now, hand them over to me. I'll tell you the contents of the third test. Elder Lei laughed out loud, his eyes filled with satisfaction. Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. At this moment, he finally sensed the passion and desire in Old Lei's heart. It was as if he wanted to obtain the key of the Lightning Emperor and the Celestial Sword Stone right now. There was indeed something wrong with this Elder Lei. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and said, Old Lei, the key of the Thunder Emperor and the Heaven Sword Stone are here. Please take them. Elder Lei's expression changed slightly, but he still said indifferently, hand them over to me. Young people need to know how to respect their seniors. Only by handing them over can you show your sincerity. Buzz. With a flash of light, the key of the Lightning Emperor and the Heaven Sword Stone were put away by Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao stood there without saying a word. He looked at Elder Lei with a faint smile. What do you mean by this? The smile on Elder Lei's face froze. His eyes revealed a trace of majesty. Elder Lei, I think you can't leave that seat. That's why you want to trick me into giving you the key of the Lightning Emperor and the Heaven Sword Stone, right? Ling Xiao said indifferently. Elder Lei looked deeply at Ling Xiao, then smiled faintly and said, "Kid, you really know how to joke. As the device spirit of the Divine Firmament Palace, I can control everything in the Divine Firmament Palace. Why can't I leave this seat? Stop joking. Hand over the key of the Lightning Emperor and the Heaven Sword Stone to me. I'm not joking. Moreover, you're not the device spirit of the Divine Firmament Palace, Lord Thunder Spirit King." Ling Xiao looked at Elder Lei and said calmly. When he said the words Lord Thunder Spirit King, he emphasized them. Ling Xiao's voice was earth-shattering. Instantly, Elder Lei and Dugu Qiubai's expressions changed. What? You said he's the Thunder Spirit King? Dugu Qiubai's eyes flashed. Apparently, he was also shocked by Ling Xiao's words. Rumble. Elder Lei's aura became incomparably berserk. Bolts of lightning blazed, and his entire body emitted a dignified, ancient, and terrifying aura. His originally kind and amiable face disappeared, and his entire aura became extremely terrifying. 7 colored chains appeared around him, binding him to the seat of honor. There was no way for him to leave at all. It's really the Thunder Spirit King. Ling Xiao's eyes shone with divine light. At this moment, Elder Lei's aura was extremely powerful. It was the same as the Thunder Spirit King outside, but more unfathomable. It was the legendary Thunder Spirit King in the Divine Firmament Valley. Ling Xiao's guess was also verified. Roar! The purple lightning lion, who had been hiding at the side, had its hair standing on end. It roared at Elder Lei, its eyes full of vigilance. I didn't expect that it would still be in vain in the end. Kid, how did you see through my identity? I thought that I didn't reveal any flaws. The Thunder Spirit King stared at Ling Xiao and said coldly. You didn't reveal any flaws. You have too many flaws. Even if the Divine Firmament Palace's artifact spirit carried out the Divine Firmament Saint's will to test us, why would he make such a childish test? He asked us to search for the Dragon Blood Lightning Essence Iron, the True Phoenix Stone, the Lightning Emperor's Key, and the Heaven Sword Stone. They were all interconnected. They were all looking for treasures. Although we did get some benefits, it doesn't look like the Divine Firmament Saint was looking for a successor. It looks more like you wanted to get something. If I'm not wrong, I'm afraid that the Lightning Emperor's Key and the Heaven Sword Stone are the keys to unlock the seals and chains on your body. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. His eyes were filled with wisdom. Even if you have these suspicions, how can you be sure that I'm the Thunder Spirit King? The Thunder Spirit King's eyes were filled with unwillingness. He was just one step away, but this cunning kid saw through it. I guessed it. I didn't expect that you couldn't help but jump out. A strange look appeared in Ling Xiao's eyes. When the Thunder Spirit King heard Ling Xiao's words, he was so depressed that he almost vomited blood. He didn't expect that in the end, it was all because of this kid's suspicions. In the end, he really thought that Ling Xiao had recognized him as the Thunder Spirit King, so he revealed his true identity. Cunning human kid, you deserve to die. The Thunder Spirit King roared angrily. His eyes were filled with flames of anger. Thunder Spirit King, I'm really curious. What is your relationship with the Divine Firmament Palace? Is this really the Divine Firmament Saint's place of inheritance? Chapter 16-17. In the beginning, the Thunder Spirit King had hidden himself very well. Even Ling Xiao did not notice his identity. However, as he kept interacting with him, especially after Ling Xiao took out the key of the Lightning Emperor and the Sky Sword Stone, Ling Xiao instantly noticed the Thunder Spirit King's aura. Although the Thunder Spirit King was very powerful, Ling Xiao thought that he was only equivalent to a 9th refinement half-sage. He was not a real sage and could not hide his aura perfectly. However, Ling Xiao was also very curious. Why was the Thunder Spirit King sealed in this sacred hall? What was his relationship with the Divine Firmament Saint? Kid, how about we discuss this? As long as you give me the key of the Lightning Emperor and the Sky Sword Stone, I will give you the Divine Firmament Saint's heritage. That is the heritage of a sage and a perfect sage treasure. The Thunder Spirit King suppressed his anger and said to Ling Xiao patiently. Thunder Spirit King, you did not intend to give us the Divine Firmament Saint's heritage right from the start, right? I know what you are thinking. You want to trick us into helping you get the key of the Lightning Emperor and the Sky Sword Stone so that you can escape from the seal. Then, you will kill us and take the heritage for yourself, right? Ling Xiao smiled coldly. Don't worry, I can swear on my mental demon oath. I will never hurt you. The Thunder Spirit King quickly said. He had been trapped here for countless years and was about to go crazy. Sorry, I don't believe you. Also, I really don't care about the heritage of a sage. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. He had already taken advantage of the situation. This Thunder Spirit King was a cunning old fox. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai had almost been tricked by him. If he was released, who knew what kind of trouble he would cause? Ling Xiao did not want to take the risk. Big brother Dugu, let's go. Let this guy continue to be trapped here. Maybe in a few 100,000 years, some idiot will break in to save him. Ling Xiao said with a smile. He called out to Dugu Qiubai and turned to leave. Bastard, despicable human, you deserve to die. When I get out, I will tear you into pieces. The Thunder Spirit King roared. He was about to go crazy. Rumble. Terrifying saintly might filled the air around him. Bolts of lightning were blazing, causing the entire sacred hall to tremble violently. However, the 7 colored chains around him were dazzling, firmly binding him to the chair. There was no way for him to leave. Let's talk about it after you get out. Ling Xiao smiled coldly and left the sacred hall without looking back. Brat, don't even think about leaving Divine Firmament Palace. I'm going to trap you here until you die. As long as you dare to take a single step, those lightning spirits will tear you to pieces. The Thunder Spirit King's eyes were filled with coldness. His whole body was emitting a strange wave. In a flash, the jade on Ling Xiao's body was broken. The lightning spirits were not afraid of the divine path chi within the jade pendant. It was because it contained a trace of the Lightning Spirit King's power. The Lightning Spirit King was the king of all the lightning spirits. Naturally, the lightning spirits would not dare to attack Ling Xiao. But now, the Divine Firmament Jade Pendant was broken. Even if Ling Xiao were to leave the Divine Firmament Palace, as soon as he stepped out of the broken matrix, he would be attacked by those thunder spirits. This is a little troublesome. Dugu Qiubai frowned slightly. With the Divine Firmament Jade Pendant broken, the lightning spirits outside were extremely powerful. Among them, there was even a golden lightning spirit that was comparable to a mid-level half-saint. Although Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai were not weak, it was impossible for them to withstand the attacks of so many lightning spirits. The broken matrix covers a large area. It's impossible for there to be lightning spirits everywhere. Let's see if we can find the weak point of the broken matrix and quickly leave this place. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he said slowly. Crack. At this moment, the broken matrix in the distance trembled violently. Bolts of lightning rose, containing an extremely terrifying destructive power. A figure with blazing lightning around his body and an extremely terrifying aura stepped on the sky and arrived at Divine Firmament Palace in an instant. That was a perfect and flawless man. He was wearing a purple gold armor. His body was slender and handsome. His body was emitting a sparkling luster. His purple hair danced wildly like flowing lightning, intertwining with dazzling light. His face was very handsome. His eyes were as deep as the starry sky. His whole body was emitting an extremely powerful aura. The peak of the 6th Revolution half-saint. He is Zhan Tianqing. Ling Xiao's eyes trembled slightly. Although he had never seen Zhan Tianqing before, he immediately knew that this man was Zhan Tianqing. Zhan Tianqing also noticed Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai. He instantly took a step forward. Purple lightning surged as he appeared in front of Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai. Disciple of War God Hall. Who are you? Zhan Tianqing said nonchalantly with an air of superiority. You are Senior Brother Zhan Tianqing. Senior Brother Zhan, I finally get to meet you. You are my idol. You may not know me, but I am Hu Qing, a new inner disciple and also a member of Thunder Hall. Senior Brother Zhan, you're a heaven-defying martial artist with a peerless demeanor. My admiration for you is like a torrential river. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with admiration and fanaticism. He quickly bowed deeply to Zhan Tianqing and began to praise him. Dugu Qiubai's eyes widened in shock. It was as if this was the first time he saw Ling Xiao like this. Zhan Tianqing was a little embarrassed by Ling Xiao's praise. He had never met such an unabashed admirer before. Instantly, a look of satisfaction appeared in his cold eyes. He smiled faintly and said, Hu Qing, right? How did you guys get in here? I have never seen you before. Show me your God of War token. Boom! Ling Xiao's body shone brightly. Bolts of lightning intertwined with each other. The 5 elements divine lightning appeared in his palms. He immediately unleashed the power of the 5 Thunder Heavenly Spirit technique. Senior Brother Zhan, look. My 5 Thunder Heavenly Spirit technique still needs your guidance. You don't know this, but the 2 of us came to the God Fiend's space to train and accidentally entered Divine Cloud Valley. In the end, we were captured by Divine Cloud Palace's Thunder Spirit King. That Thunder Spirit King is extremely vicious and has taken the Divine Cloud Saint's heritage. Senior Brother Zhan, I think only you are worthy of the Divine Cloud Saint's heritage. As long as you kill Thunder Spirit King, you will definitely be able to obtain the entire Divine Cloud Palace's treasures. Ling Xiao spoke without stopping. He exuded the 5 Thunder Heavenly Spirit technique's aura, which made Zhan Tianqing less vigilant. He confirmed that Hu Qing was indeed a disciple of Combat God Hall. Ling Xiao also used the sky-shrouding mystic art to perfectly conceal his aura, so Zhan Tianqing did not notice anything wrong. He originally wanted to check Ling Xiao's God of War token, but once he heard about Thunder Spirit King and the Divine Cloud Saint's heritage, his attention was instantly attracted. The Thunder Spirit King actually got the Divine Cloud Saint's heritage. Damn it! Zhan Tianqing's eyes turned cold, revealing a trace of murderous intent. Chapter 1618. Senior Brother Zhan, follow me. The Thunder Spirit King has been trapped by some kind of array formation. He is at his weakest now. If you kill him, the Divine Firmament Saint's heritage will be yours. Only Senior Brother Zhan is worthy of the Divine Firmament Saint's heritage. After Ling Xiao finished speaking, he looked extremely anxious. After exchanging a glance with Dugu Qiubai, he flew straight into the sacred hall. Zhan Tianqing's eyes were extremely cold as he followed Ling Xiao into the Divine Firmament Palace. Dugu Qiubai's eyes lit up. He could see that Ling Xiao was trying to get Zhan Tianqing to fight with Thunder Spirit King. However, would Zhan Tianqing really believe that Ling Xiao was trying to get Zhan Tianqing to fight? Big Brother Dugu, regardless of whether Zhan Tianqing believes it or not, we are only God Kings after all. He is confident that he can control us, so he will definitely be careless. And he will definitely be tempted by the Divine Firmament Saint's heritage. Let's see how he fights with the Thunder Spirit King. Maybe we can even be the fisherman. Ling Xiao transmitted his voice to Dugu Qiubai. His voice was filled with confidence. All right. I hope you don't play with fire. This Zhan Tianqing is extremely powerful. We are no match for him. Dugu Qiubai smiled bitterly. Swoosh. 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 Ling Xiao, Dugu Qiubai, and Zhan Tianqing flew back into the sacred hall. Ha ha ha. Cunning human. You can't get out with so many thunder spirits protecting you. If you know what's good for you, let me out obediently. Otherwise, you will all die. The Thunder Spirit King sneered when he saw Ling Xiao return. Thunder Spirit King, don't be so arrogant. If you know what's good for you, hand over the Divine Firmament Saint's heritage. Our senior brother Zhan Tianqing is a peerless prodigy of the combat god shrine. Not only will he become a sage in the future, but he will also become the arch and dominate the world. Our senior brother Zhan is your blessing. Otherwise, you will die today. Ling Shao shouted at the Thunder Spirit King. A mere 6th refinement half-sage dares to be so arrogant in front of me? If I am free, I can crush you with one finger. Knowing that Zhan Tianqing was Ling Zhao's helper, Thunder Spirit King stared at Zhan Tianqing and laughed coldly. You are the Thunder Spirit King. Looks like you've been trapped by the array formation left behind by the Divine Firmament Saint. You brought this upon yourself. Hand over the Divine Firmament Saint's heritage or die. Zhan Tianqing stared at Thunder Spirit King and said slowly. He was also a scheming person. Although he had many doubts about Ling Shao and Dugu Qiubai's identities, the most important thing now was the Divine Firmament Saint's legacy. As long as he could obtain the Divine Firmament Saint's legacy, everything else was just a side issue. Moreover, he could tell that Ling Shao was indeed a disciple of the War God Hall. He could crush 2 divine kings with a single hand, so he did not take them seriously. Moreover, he didn't think that the disciples of the War God Hall would dare to deceive him. Now, Zhan Tianqing had confirmed that the Divine Firmament Saint's heritage was in the Thunder Spirit King's hands. He did not care about the Thunder Spirit King at all. He was already prepared to snatch the Divine Firmament Saint's heritage from the Thunder Spirit King. You want me to hand over the Divine Firmament Saint's heritage? Ha ha ha, who do you think you are? If it wasn't for this king being trapped by this damned array, you would already be a dead man. The Thunder Spirit King was furious, and his eyes were filled with cold murderous intent. You don't know what's good for you. Since you don't want to hand it over, I'll send you on your way. Zhan Tianqing's eyes turned cold, and the cold aura around him exploded. Bolts of lightning rose up. At the same time, his body emitted rays of purple light. His aura was majestic, and his body was like a dragon. It contained an invincible energy wave. He punched toward the Thunder Spirit King. Zhan Tianqing has already formed a tribulation seed. Ling Zhao's eyes narrowed. He had also cultivated the indestructible sage technique, so he could naturally feel how powerful Zhan Tianqing's body was now. That was the tribulation aura spreading all over his body, and he had already formed a tribulation seed. Therefore, Zhan Tianqing's punch was extremely terrifying. His body was even stronger than Ling Zhao's. Damn it! The Thunder Spirit King was enraged, and his eyes were filled with murderous intent. The aura around him became extremely violent. Now that he was trapped by the array, he was like a tiger that was bullied by dogs. It was as if he had become a live target, and he could only passively block Zhan Tianqing's attacks. Thunder Spirit King was incomparably arrogant. His strength was also extremely terrifying. Before he was trapped by the formation, even a high-level half-saint would be torn to pieces if he broke into the Divine Cloud Valley. This human kid, who was just a mere 6th transformation half-sage, was too arrogant. Crack! The Thunder Spirit King's body was filled with lightning, and the light was extremely bright. Zhan Tianqing's punch landed on the Thunder Spirit King's body, and instantly, endless lightning exploded. The Thunder Spirit King did not seem to be affected at all. His body shook slightly and returned to normal. Kid, you can't even break through my defense with your 6th transformation half-sage cultivation. You want to kill me? You're overestimating yourself. The Thunder Spirit King sneered. Although he was trapped by the formation and couldn't attack, he could still passively defend himself. In particular, he was a Thunder Spirit King who had comprehended the power of the origin of the Way of Thunder. If it weren't for the restriction, it was even possible for him to become a saint. Even Zhan Tianqing had not been able to break through the defense formed by his lightning. Really? You're indeed very strong. But it's a pity that you're just a spiritual body without a physical body. I have 10,000 ways to play you to death. Zhan Tianqing sneered. Whoosh! A light flashed in his palm, and a purple gold war spear appeared, exuding a powerful saint aura. Its aura was extremely terrifying, and it was flowing with a power that could make one's mind tremble, as if it could destroy one's primordial spirit. This spear is called the Soul Destroyer Spear. I'd like to see how many of my spears you can block. Zhan Tianqing said coldly, and the purple gold war spear in his hand shone brightly. In an instant, the spear flickered, and it pierced towards the Thunder Spirit King's glabella like lightning. The Soul Destroyer Spear was extremely lethal to spiritual bodies, and it was also a powerful flawless holy treasure. Even the Thunder Spirit King's expression changed slightly. He was trapped by the array, and he was like a live target. He could not attack, and he could not escape. Although he could passively defend himself, spiritual bodies were indeed most afraid of treasures that could attack one's primordial spirit. Boom! The Thunder Spirit King gritted his teeth, and a golden blood mist spurted out from his mouth. In an instant, it condensed into a golden talisman in the void. It shone brightly, and it was extremely thick, and it blocked in front of his glabella. The Soul Destroyer Spear pierced the golden talisman, and in an instant, an unparalleled divine power exploded. The golden talisman exploded, and the Soul Destroyer Spear was blown away. TSK. You're actually using your natal true blood to resist my Soul Destroyer Spear. Looks like you're at your wit's end. How much true blood do you have to defend against it? Chapter 16-19. Ling Xiao, it seems like Thunder Spirit King is no match for Zhan Tianqing. If this goes on, Thunder Spirit King will be killed by Zhan Tianqing sooner or later. Dugu Qiubai's eyes flashed as he said slowly. Brother Dugu, come with me. Zhan Tianqing's strength is indeed powerful, but I have sensed the gap in the array that imprisoned Thunder Spirit King. Although we can't let him out directly, the array that imprisoned him has weakened a lot. As long as we add more fuel to the fire, Thunder Spirit King should be able to get out. At that time, we can sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight. Ling Xiao smiled faintly as he transmitted his voice to Dugu Qiubai. Oh. You can actually find the gap in the array. This is really good news. Dugu Qiubai was shocked. He and Ling Xiao quietly left the Saint Hall. These two are really strange. But with their cultivation, they can't escape from the Divine Firmament Palace. I will deal with them after I kill Thunder Spirit King. Zhan Tianqing's eyes flashed with a trace of coldness. He also sensed that Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai had left secretly. He sneered in his heart. Hong Long. The Soul Destroyer Spear in his hand was blazing. In an instant, it split into thousands of spear radiances. Each of the radiances was extremely terrifying. They were all aimed at the vital parts of Thunder Spirit King's body. Damn the array. Human brat, I'm going to kill you. Thunder Spirit King roared. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He was so depressed that he almost vomited blood. Although his strength was unfathomable, he was trapped by the array. Now, he had become a live target in front of Zhan Tianqing. Although Zhan Tianqing was a 6th Revolution half-saint, his combat strength was extremely terrifying. In just a short while, he had already injured Thunder Spirit King quite badly. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai left the Saint Hall and came to the Thunder Pool. I have just sensed that the array that imprisoned Thunder Spirit King has a formation eye in the Thunder Pool and the Sword Pavilion. As long as we can destroy one of them, Thunder Spirit King's strength will be enough to escape. Ling Xiao said slowly. When he was cultivating in the Thunder Pool, his heart realm had already covered the entire Thunder Pool and even the Divine Firmament Palace. His heart realm was extremely powerful. Although he hadn't reached the prominent Divine Firmament realm, he could use his heart realm to see through everything. He had already found the hidden door in the Lightning Pool. The key of the Thunder Emperor and the Heaven Sword Stone were indeed the keys to open the array that imprisoned the Thunder Spirit King, but the Thunder Pool and the Sword Pavilion each had a formation eye. Good. I'll protect you. You can do whatever you want. Dugu Qiubai nodded. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in the Thunder Pool. His heart world was boundless, and his vast heart force filled the entire Thunder Pool. In Ling Zhao's perception, the thunder pool seemed to be shrouded in 2 layers of dazzling light. The outermost layer was vast and deep, with runes rising, containing an unfathomable aura of the divine path. That should be the matrix that covered the entire divine firmament palace. And in the middle layer, there seemed to be a purple rune mist. It vaguely formed a magical confinement power, piercing through the void and connecting with the Thunder Spirit King in the Saint Hall. There was also a golden talisman that was incomparably sharp and contained a monstrous sword essence. It rose up from the sword pavilion and also pierced through the void and entered the Saint Hall. These 2 runes were the 2 formation eyes that imprisoned the Thunder Spirit King. Boom! Ling Zhao's aura rose, and the heaven-devouring secret skill broke out. He reached out his hand and grabbed at the void. Suddenly, a chaotic vortex appeared in his palm and grabbed at the purple rune. The lightning was blazing, and the power of the matrix burst out, as if it was going to crush Ling Zhao's arm. Although the power of the matrix had been weakened for countless years, it still had the power to kill a half-saint. Ling Zhao's arm had been tempered by the disaster qi, and it was extremely strong. It resisted the terrifying power of the matrix, and directly grabbed the purple rune and swallowed it. That purple rune seemed to contain the original power of the Thunder Way. It exploded in Ling Zhao's body in an instant. Bolts of lightning spread out in his body and covered his whole body. When the formation eye was destroyed, the Thunder Spirit King in the Saint Hall immediately sensed it. Crack! The Thunder Spirit King's body was originally surrounded by chains of order, and his whole body was trapped. Those chains of order were emitting 7-colored light, and there were strange lightning and sword lights. But at this moment, half of the chains of order were broken. The Thunder Spirit King felt relaxed. Although the matrix was not completely broken, he already had some power to fight back. Ha ha ha. Boy, you didn't expect it, did you? Your 2 junior brothers actually helped me break open an array core. Is he trying to make us 2 tigers fight each other so that he can reap the benefits of a fisherman's quarrel? But I'm afraid he's wrong. Not only will you die, but they will die too. The Thunder Spirit King was overjoyed, and he sneered at Zhan Tianqing. Rumble. A terrifying aura was emitted from the Thunder Spirit King's body. Bolts of lightning surrounded his body. There were silver bolts of lightning, golden bolts of lightning, and even black bolts of lightning. It made him look like a saint who could control lightning. His words were law, and his power was unparalleled. Facing Zhan Tianqing's Soul Destroyer spear, he immediately threw out a punch. Bolts of lightning were released, and blocked the Soul Destroyer spear's full power attack. What? That Hu Qing. Damn it! Zhan Tianqing's face instantly turned gloomy, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. Although he was confused about how Ling Zhao, who was only a divine king, could break the formation eye, he was even angrier. He, Zhan Tianqing, was fooled by someone. This was unforgivable. In an instant, Ling Zhao was sentenced to death in his heart. Thunder Spirit King, so what if you manage to get out? You still deserve to die. Zhan Tianqing's eyes were filled with killing intent. He suppressed the anger in his heart and attacked with all his might. The Soul Destroyer spear shone brightly, and he wanted to completely suppress the Thunder Spirit King. Boom! Zhan Tianqing was unstoppable, and there was an immortal aura around him. His entire body shone brightly, and he held the Soul Destroyer spear in his hand as he charged towards the Thunder Spirit King. Since the Thunder Spirit King had broken the formation eye, he was able to fight back. But the Soul Destroyer spear was too much of a threat to the Thunder Spirit King, and he was still at a disadvantage. Despicable humans, you only managed to break through one of the formation cores. When I escape, I will definitely kill you. The Thunder Spirit King was furious. He did not feel grateful that Ling Zhao had broken the formation eye. Instead, he was even angrier. He understood Ling Zhao's plan. Ling Zhao wanted him to use up his strength to break the formation eye. Then, both of them would be injured. Chapter 1620. Boom! Zhan Tianqing's qi and blood filled the air. Beams of sparkling light flew out from his body and landed on the Thunder Spirit King. Suddenly, a bright light bloomed like a rain of swords. Thunder Spirit King roared. Suddenly, a strange sound wave exploded in the air. The air shook at the same time, and the sword rain was turned into dust. Then, Thunder Spirit King raised his palm and slapped toward Zhang Tianqing. Bolts of purple lightning flew out from the Thunder Spirit King's palm. Those bolts of lightning seemed to contain the will of the heavens and earth. They turned into immemorial divine beasts in the void and charged towards Zhang Tianqing ferociously. Kacha! Zhang Tianqing's eyes were extremely sharp. The Soul Destroyer spear shone with boundless holy light. His spear was like a dragon, and its speed was extremely fast. Every spear strike could kill an immemorial divine beast formed by thunder. Eventually, the sky was filled with spear light, and it was still aimed at Thunder Spirit King's forehead. Get out of my way. Thunder Spirit King looked gloomy. He clasped his palms together, and suddenly, a bright thunderbolt exploded. It was surrounded by chaotic colors, and it contained a horrifying destructive power as it shot towards Zhang Tianqing. Boom! The Soul Destroyer spear shattered the thunder light in the sky, and an unparalleled power exploded. The Thunder Spirit King's expression changed drastically, and he could only dodge awkwardly. However, he was still suppressed by the Soul Destroyer spear, and a bloody light appeared on his body. Damn it! The Thunder Spirit King was extremely frustrated. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Kill! Zhang Tianqing's body was surrounded by lightning. He stepped into the air and held the spear in one hand. His other hand grabbed in the air. Suddenly, purple lightning gathered in his palm. He was like a saint who controlled the thunder of heaven and earth. He attacked the Thunder Spirit King. Suddenly, purple lightning fell from the sky. It was like a vast thunder of heaven. Zhang Tianqing had cultivated the indestructible sacred technique and had formed the tribulation seed. Therefore, when he used the divine firmament thunder art, it was like he had triggered a powerful lightning tribulation. He launched a destructive attack towards the Thunder Spirit King. Zhang Tianqing also knew that the Thunder Spirit King was extremely powerful, but now that he was being controlled by the array, he could not use more than half of his power. Zhang Tianqing planned to kill him while he was still unable to use his full power. You know the divine firmament thunder art? No, your divine firmament thunder art is not strong. It's just a fragment. Kid, you're just showing off in front of an expert. Thunder Spirit King's eyes showed a trace of surprise, and then he sneered. Boom! Bolts of lightning spread around him, and the same purple divine lightning appeared in the sky, faintly forming a mysterious figure. It was like a saint who had enlightened all living beings and controlled the thunder tribulations. It slammed its palm down on Zhang Tianqing. This is the real divine firmament thunder art. You really did get the inheritance saint. Zhang Tianqing's eyes were fanaticism. Although the divine firmament destructive thunder path of the War God Hall was a peerless sage technique, it had been developed by the War God Hall's ancestral master based on an ancient fragment. The true divine firmament destructive thunder path in the legends might even be a peerless imperial scripture. Based on the clues Zhang Tianqing had found, he hoped to find the true divine firmament destructive thunder path in Divine Cloud Valley. Now, seeing that the Thunder Spirit King's divine lightning spell was even more terrifying, that kind of heavenly power seemed to be able to turn everything into dust, he was not shocked, but happy instead. Thunder Spirit King, die! Zhang Tianqing shouted angrily. Suddenly, a purple ancient talisman appeared in his palm. It contained a vast sage aura and flew towards the Thunder Spirit King. That purple ancient talisman contained a wave that could destroy everything. It broke through the void and turned the mysterious figure in the void into dust. Then, it flew towards the Thunder Spirit King. This is the great saint's true talisman. You actually have such a treasure. Damn it! Thunder Spirit King's eyes showed a trace of anger, and even a trace of fear. The Great Saint's true talisman is formed by the Great Saint's origin sacred force. Even if a saint doesn't die, he will be severely injured. You are just a thunder spirit. How can you resist the great saint's true talisman? If you don't surrender, you will die. Zhan Tianqing's eyes were filled with pain. It was not easy for him to get the great saint's true talisman. But for the divine firmament saint's legacy, he had to give it his all. Rumble. The purple talisman contained an eternal wave. In an instant, it pierced through the layers of void and imprinted on the Thunder Spirit King's body. It was as if the Thunder Spirit King could not resist at all. A terrifying destructive force spread out, and the Thunder Spirit King exploded. The whole sacred hall shook violently. Under the power of the great saint's true talisman, even the array that trapped the Thunder Spirit King was shattered. Buzz! Light shone in the void, and the Thunder Spirit King's figure appeared again. But his aura was extremely weak now. He had suffered an unimaginable injury. You actually have a scapegoat talisman? I knew you wouldn't die so easily. Zhan Tianqing's eyes flashed. He felt the strange wave on the Thunder Spirit King's body. It was the scapegoat talisman's aura. It could save one from certain death. But the power of the great saint's true talisman was too terrifying. Even with the scapegoat talisman, the Thunder Spirit King was still severely injured. Despicable human brat, this king has finally escaped from the trap. You've caused this prince to suffer such heavy injuries, so you should just die. The Thunder Spirit King roared, his eyes filled with cold killing intent. His voice was extremely terrifying, causing the whole Divine Firmament Palace to shake. In an instant, the Divine Firmament Palace shone brightly. Mysterious runes lit up one after another. It was as if some mysterious force had awakened in the whole Divine Firmament Palace. Have a taste of the real Divine Firmament Armageddon array. The Thunder Spirit King stared at Zhan Tianqing. Then, lightning burst out from his body. In an instant, runes filled the sky and enveloped Zhan Tianqing. How can you activate the Divine Firmament Palace's array? You are just a thunder spirit. It is impossible for you to control the Divine Firmament Palace's array. Damn it! Zhan Tianqing's face changed drastically. His expression became extremely ugly. He had calculated everything, but he did not expect the Thunder Spirit King to be able to activate the Divine Firmament Palace's array. After all, according to the information he received, the Thunder Spirit King was actually just a connate life form. He did not have a physical body and was formed by the Divine Firmament Saint's sage will. It was impossible for him to control the Divine Firmament Palace's array. Nothing is impossible. All of you, go to hell. Chapter 1621. Kacha. Runes rose up one after another. The Divine Firmament Armageddon array's power enveloped the entire Divine Firmament Palace. That terrifying aura seemed to be able to destroy everything. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai, who were in the lightning pool, could not help but change their expressions. They were in disbelief. The Thunder Spirit King had activated the Divine Firmament Armageddon array in such a crazy manner. He wanted to kill everyone. Swoosh! Ling Xiao's eyes shone brightly. He did not even think about it. 9 ancient stone tablets appeared between his brows. They shone brightly and protected Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai in the middle. Heavenly Tao Chaotic Tablets. These 9 Heavenly Tao Chaotic Tablets had always been in Ling Xiao's mind. However, in order to prevent their aura from leaking out, Ling Xiao had never used them. Now that the Divine Firmament Armageddon array's power was too terrifying, Ling Xiao could not care less. He immediately took out the 9 Heavenly Tao Chaotic Tablets. Streaks of chaotic mist surrounded Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai, protecting them. Thunder Spirit King, you are crazy. Zhan Tianqing's eyes were extremely cold. He could see that when the Thunder Spirit King activated the Divine Firmament Armageddon array, his aura was rapidly weakening. It was obvious that the Thunder Spirit King had paid a huge price. I am not crazy. You despicable humans, you all deserve to die. The Thunder Spirit King said through gritted teeth. He hated Zhan Tianqing and Ling Xiao to the extreme. He wanted to kill them all even if he had to pay a huge price. Rumble. Beams of divine light rose up, as vast as the sea. They enveloped Zhang Tianqing as well. Zhang Tianqing's body emitted a dazzling light. The purple armor on his body was ancient and mysterious. It contained extremely powerful defensive power. However, in front of the divine firmament Armageddon array, it started to crack inch by inch. Poof! No matter how hard Zhang Tianqing tried to resist, he was still hit by the streaks of divine light. He spat out blood. His eyes were extremely cold. He had suffered an unimaginable injury. Thunder Spirit King, just you wait. Zhang Tianqing said hatefully. Light flashed in his hand, and an ancient talisman tore through the void. It wrapped around him and quickly disappeared from the divine firmament palace. Another great sage talisman. Where did this kid come from? The Thunder Spirit King's eyes were filled with shock. Zhang Tianqing had used a great sage talisman to escape from the divine firmament Armageddon Great Array, which made the Thunder Spirit King feel even more incredulous. This time, it could be said that Zhang Tianqing had gone for wool and come home shorn. He had suffered a huge loss and ended up with nothing. The destructive divine light in the sky dissipated, and the divine firmament Armageddon array's power quickly subsided. The Thunder Spirit King had paid a huge price to activate the array. Coupled with the fact that he had been severely injured by Zhang Tianqing's true talisman of the Great Tao, his aura was extremely weak right now. Even his figure had become somewhat transparent. Those two human brats should be dead too, right? Something's not right. Thunder Spirit King's eyes flashed. He could feel that the entire godly firmament palace had lost all signs of life. He could not help but feel relieved. However, he suddenly felt a sense of danger. His expression immediately changed, and he moved far away. Rumble. There was a dazzling light in the void, and 9 ancient chaotic stone tablets appeared. They contained a thick and ancient energy wave, and they suppressed the Thunder Spirit King. Ling Xiao controlled the 9 chaotic stone tablets and wanted to kill the Thunder Spirit King in one fell swoop. Swoosh! At the same time, a blazing sword beam shot across the sky. It was intertwined with black and white divine light. It contained 2 types of vast sword intents, one for destruction and one for life. They complemented and countered each other, and it slashed toward the Thunder Spirit King. Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai had the 9 chaotic stone tablets to protect them, so they were not injured. Instead, they took advantage of the moment when the divine firmament Armageddon array's power dissipated to hide their aura and launch a fatal attack on the Thunder Spirit King. A flawless sage treasure. Cunning human brat, you deserve to die. The Thunder Spirit King was instantly enraged. He did not expect Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai to be still alive. Instead, they took advantage of the moment when he was relaxed to launch a sneak attack on him. Rumble. The Thunder Spirit King's body was surrounded by terrifying lightning. He uttered a few gray syllables, and suddenly, the void shook. Lightning symbols surrounded his body and formed a sea of lightning, enveloping Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai. However, the power of the 9 Heaven Dao Primal Chaos Tablets was too terrifying. In an instant, it shattered the sea of lightning and smashed onto Thunder Spirit King's body, turning him into dust. Dugu Qiubai's Destruction Sword Dao and Life Sword Dao exploded, and the sword beam covered the entire sacred hall. It was as if all the marks of the Thunder Spirit King were destroyed. Swoosh! However, at that moment, among the dazzling divine light, a white lightning shot toward Ling Xiao's forehead silently. That white lightning was formed by the Thunder Spirit King. He used a secret technique to dodge the power of the 9 chaotic stone tablets and the sword beam. At the same time, he took advantage of the chaos and shot toward Ling Xiao's forehead. Cunning brat, give me your body. The Thunder Spirit King's eyes were filled with cold murderous intent. He was about to shoot into Ling Xiao's mind in an instant. He wanted to possess Ling Xiao's body. You don't know your place. Ling Xiao had a faint smile on his face. He didn't resist at all and let the Thunder Spirit King enter his sea of consciousness between his eyebrows. The Thunder Spirit King's heart skipped a beat. He instinctively felt that something was wrong. However, he had already entered Ling Xiao's mind. He immediately revealed his body and pounced toward Ling Xiao's primordial spirit without thinking. As long as he could destroy this brat's primordial spirit and take over his body, he would be able to control this brat completely. The Thunder Spirit King thought to himself. Gotcha! However, at that moment, an ancient and mysterious heavenly book descended from the sky. It emitted a vast 9-colored divine light. It was as if it was immortal and indestructible. Even the Thunder Spirit King's expression changed drastically. Thunder Spirit King, if you had escaped, I might not have been able to do anything to you. However, I did not expect you to not take the path to heaven and barge into hell. Prepare to die. Ling Xiao laughed coldly. The wordless heavenly book suddenly shone brightly. Billions of rays of light were swallowed up. A huge black hole spun and moved toward the Thunder Spirit King. Damn it! What is this thing? Ah! I know! This is the wordless heavenly book. You are the descendant of the wordless heavenly book. The Thunder Spirit King roared. His eyes revealed a look of disbelief. He finally started to feel fear. Chapter 1622. Boom! The wordless heavenly book was emitting an eternal light. It was vast and ancient. It was as if all the worlds were contained in this book. Even the powerful Thunder Spirit King was as weak as an ant in front of the wordless heavenly book. The Thunder Spirit King was dragged by the wordless heavenly book into the black hole. That flickering presence seemed like it was going to turn all life into dust. The Thunder Spirit King's body was trembling. He could feel that if he was really swallowed by the wordless heavenly book, he would definitely die. Mercy, I don't want to die. I am willing to surrender to you. As long as you spare my life, I am willing to give you anything. Facing the threat of death, the Thunder Spirit King finally started to beg for mercy. His body was trembling, and his eyes were filled with fear. Surrender to me? What do I need you for? Anyway, once the wordless heavenly book takes away your memory, I will know everything. Refining you will benefit me even more. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. He did not want to show mercy at all. Little ancestor, it is my fault. I should not have lied to you. Please spare me. Killing me won't do you any good. I have the battle prowess of a 9th Revolution half-saint. I will kill whoever you want me to kill in the future. I will do whatever you want me to do. I only beg you to spare my life. The Thunder Spirit King quickly said. His eyes were filled with begging. A 9th Revolution half-saint's subordinate? Ling Xiao thought for a while. He was hesitating. Seeing that Ling Xiao was a bit hesitant, the Thunder Spirit King seemed to have seen a glimmer of hope. He hurriedly said, Master, you are brilliant and talented. You are the descendant of the wordless heavenly book. In the future, you will definitely become a saint, or even an invincible great emperor. You will be invincible in this world. I am willing to follow your footsteps. The Thunder Spirit King said with a flattering smile. Ling Xiao was a little speechless. This guy now looked like a wretched old man. His previous majesty and domineering aura were all gone. He had also lost his integrity. In order to survive, he was willing to say anything. Old man, you're not being honest. What if you betray me? Don't talk to me about the Great Heart Demon Oath. I don't believe that. Ling Xiao looked at Thunder Spirit King and said slowly. The Great Oath of the Heart Demon was indeed very useful for experts below the Sage Realm. Almost no one dared to disobey it. However, there were many ways for sages to avoid the Great Oath of the Heart Demon. For someone like the Thunder Spirit King, even if he swore the Great Oath of the Heart, Ling Xiao wouldn't believe it. Master, I'm willing to form a heavenly Dao contract with you. Thunder Spirit King thought for a while and finally said. Wang. He suddenly spat out a mouthful of golden blood, which condensed into a golden rune in the air. In an instant, a mysterious power of law seemed to descend, and the golden rune slowly floated towards Ling Xiao. The aura of the Thunder Spirit King instantly became weaker. A heavenly Tao contract. A light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. After signing the contract, Ling Xiao had officially become the owner of the Thunder Spirit King. From now on, the life and death of the Thunder Spirit King would be in Ling Xiao's hands. Almost no one would choose to sign this kind of contract. Even if one had a godly beast as a mount, it would usually be an equal contract. At most, it would be a master-slave contract. In order to survive, the Thunder Spirit King had really put in a lot of effort. However, other than the threat of life and death, the reason why the Thunder Spirit King was willing to sign a heavenly Tao contract with Ling Xiao was because Ling Xiao was the inheritor of the wordless book. If such a peerless person became his master, he would definitely be able to reach the peak in the future and become one of the most powerful people in his generation. It made him see some hope and future. Wang. Ling Xiao thought for a while and directly kept that golden rune into his primordial spirit. He could instantly feel that as long as he willed it, he would be able to control the life and death of the Thunder Spirit King. Master, can you let me go now? The Thunder Spirit King smiled flatteringly. The wordless book above his head always made him feel uneasy and cold. Thunder Spirit King, can you tell me about this divine firmament palace now? Tell me why you are trapped here and the inheritance of the divine firmament saint. Ling Xiao put away the wordless heavenly book and asked calmly. How would I dare to call myself a king in front of Master? Master, just call me Lei Lei or Ling, or in the future. Don't worry, Master, whatever you want to know, I will tell you clearly. The Thunder Spirit King flattered him like a dog as he laughed and said. Lei Lei. Ling Ling Xiao shuddered and felt a chill all over his body. Imagine an old man with white hair and beard being called Lei Lei or Ling What kind of scene would that be? It was simply unbearable to look at. Cut the crap. Thunder Spirit King sounds better. Hurry up and tell me. Ling Xiao glared at the Thunder Spirit King and said. Master, this matter started after the Divine Firmament Saint passed away. Before the Divine Firmament Saint passed away, he built this Divine Firmament Palace and left his inheritance for the fated person. The Thunder Spirit King honestly told Yichin everything. It turned out that the Divine Firmament Saint was indeed a figure from the 9th Thearch's era. He was extremely powerful and proficient in the lightning and sword Tao. However, his core was injured in the battle with the demon race, and the injury was irreversible. Before he passed away, he built the Divine Firmament Palace and left his inheritance. Meanwhile, the Divine Firmament Saint's Thunder Tao had gathered, and after countless years, it had formed a mystic realm like the Divine Firmament Valley. Countless thunder spirits had been born from the Thunder Tao's Thunder Tao. The Thunder Spirit King was a king born from the countless thunder spirits. It had also obtained the Divine Firmament Saint's Thunder Tao intent. The Thunder Spirit King's cultivation level stagnated after reaching the 9th refinement half-saint. He was not willing to accept that his cultivation level could not improve, so he took the risk and entered the Divine Firmament Palace to obtain the Divine Firmament Saint's inheritance. However, he did not expect to accidentally trigger the array formation left behind by the Divine Firmament Saint and was trapped. He was trapped for countless years until Ling Xiao and Dugu Qiubai entered the Divine Firmament Palace. Where is the Divine Firmament Saint's inheritance? Ling Xiao looked at the Thunder Spirit King and asked. The Thunder Spirit King felt a little awkward. He stole a glance at Ling Xiao and said, I have refined and absorbed the Tao fruit left behind by the Divine Firmament Saint. I have obtained his most powerful heavenly sword 9 styles and Divine Firmament Lightning Tao. However, if Master wants to cultivate them, I can teach them to you. The Thunder Spirit King was a little nervous. He was afraid that Ling Xiao would refine him without saying anything. That would be troublesome. Heavenly Sword 9 Styles and Divine Firmament Lightning Tao. The Heavenly Sword 9 Styles should be the Heavenly Sword secret technique, right? The Divine Firmament Lightning Tao was passed down by the Divine Firmament Saint. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he said slowly. He thought of the heavenly sword stone that Dugu Chilbai had obtained from the sword pavilion. It contained the incomplete heavenly sword secret technique. The war god temple also had the divine firmament lightning Tao. Could it be that they had obtained it from the divine firmament saint? Master is right. The heavenly sword 9 styles is the heavenly sword secret technique. It's just that Master obtained the incomplete heavenly sword secret technique, so his attainment in the sword Tao is not deep. Meanwhile, Master's divine firmament lightning Tao was passed down from ancient times. It is said that it was a peerless sage technique left behind by a lightning Tao the arch. Its power is unparalleled. Your war god temple's divine firmament lightning Tao is probably just an incomplete heavenly sword secret technique. The Thunder Spirit King smiled slightly with a hint of pride in his eyes. Chapter 1623. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. The divine firmament destructive thunder way of the war god hall was indeed incomplete. However, it had been perfected and created by the war god hall's ancestral master. It was probably not much weaker than the original divine firmament destructive thunder way. It was just that its path was different. Otherwise, it would not have been able to become one of the war god hall's 9 great sacred techniques. However, the Thunder Spirit King's divine lightning mantra was still a great reference. If he could compare it with the war god shrine's divine lightning mantra, then together with the 9-layered imperial gates lightning mantra, Ling Xiao might be able to obtain a peerless heaven art that surpassed a sacred art. Every peerless sacred art in the ancient times was extremely terrifying. It was only second to the legendary Imperial Sutra. Teach me the 9 forms of the heavenly sword and the divine lightning Tao of the war god shrine. Ling Xiao looked at the Thunder Spirit King and said. Great. Master is so powerful. These 2 peerless sacred arts will definitely shine brightly in your hands. The Thunder Spirit King sucked up to Ling Xiao. Then, there was a bright light between his brows. 2 golden runes floated out and merged into Ling Xiao's mind. Boom! In Ling Xiao's mind, an ancient sword with 9 colors appeared. It was eternal and sharp as if it could cut through heaven and earth. It was a peerless sword technique. That was the 9 forms of the heavenly sword. The moment the 9 forms of the heavenly sword appeared, the wordless book in Ling Xiao's mind also shook slightly. The 9 forms of the heavenly sword was instantly swallowed by the wordless book. It is indeed the incomplete heavenly sword secret art. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he thought to himself. The 9 forms of the heavenly sword might have been perfected and created by the divine firmament saint, but it was still the heavenly sword's secret art. There was also a purple lightning bolt that exploded in Ling Xiao's mind. It was surrounded by a faint chaotic fog. Life and destruction coexisted, explaining the mystery of the lightning Tao. Ling Xiao's primordial spirit seemed to be surrounded by blazing lightning. He was like the god of creation who was experiencing the changes of the endless lightning. The true meaning of the divine firmament lightning Tao of the war god shrine was also absorbed by Ling Xiao. This peerless sacred art was engraved in his primordial spirit and verified with the lightning emperor art. There seemed to be a mysterious connection between them. Master, you actually obtained the lightning emperor technique? However, it's a pity that it's not the lightning imperial sutra. Legend has it that before the lightning emperor attained his Tao, he had also cultivated the divine firmament destructive lightning Tao. Thus, the lightning imperial sutra and the divine firmament destructive lightning Tao have a very deep connection. The Thunder Spirit King was a bit surprised. This master of his was indeed full of luck, he even got the Thunder Emperor spell. Ling Xiao was enlightened. It was as if the divine firmament destructive lightning Tao and the lightning emperor art could be used to verify each other. Ling Xiao's understanding of the lightning Tao had deepened. When Ling Xiao opened his eyes, he had obtained the 9 styles of the heavenly sword and the divine firmament destructive lightning Tao. Ling Xiao, you're finally awake. You have been in seclusion for more than a month, the Thunder Spirit King should have been killed by you, right? Dugu Qiubai's voice rang in Ling Xiao's ears. There was a tinge of concern in his eyes. Previously, the Thunder Spirit King had wanted to charge into Ling Xiao's primordial spirit to possess him. Dugu Chobai had not been able to do anything in that situation. Fortunately, he had quickly realized that the Thunder Spirit King's aura had weakened. Ling Xiao was not affected at all. Instead, he had entered a strange state of enlightenment. Thus, he was relieved to protect Ling Xiao. Thunder Spirit King, are you talking about him? Ling Xiao smiled. The Thunder Spirit King's light flashed, and he instantly turned into an elder with white hair and beard. He appeared in front of Dugu Chobai. Greetings, young master. This old man greets you. The Thunder Spirit King bowed to Dugu Chobai. You have subdued the Thunder Spirit King. There was a tinge of disbelief in Dugu Chobai's eyes. He knew that Ling Xiao had many trump cards, so he should not be in any danger. However, he was still shocked that the Thunder Spirit King had been subdued by Ling Xiao. After all, the Thunder Spirit King was a powerful being at the pinnacle of the half-sage level. He was only half a step away from becoming a sage. That's right. Big brother Dugu, this old man has obtained the Divine Firmament Saint's legacy. Now, I will let him teach you the Heavenly Sword 9 styles. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Dugu Chobai was a pure sword cultivator. He was not interested in the Divine Firmament's destructive lightning Tao. However, he was very interested in the Heavenly Sword 9 styles. After all, it was a sage's peerless sage technique. It would be very useful for him to perfect his own sword Tao. It is indeed a peerless sword technique. Dugu Chobai could not help but exclaim after reading the Heavenly Sword 9 styles that the Thunder Spirit King had taught him. It's good that it's useful to you. Big brother Dugu, let's go. Ling Xiao smiled. Now, those thunder spirits outside the array were no longer a threat to Ling Xiao and Dugu Chobai. After all, even the Thunder Spirit King had submitted to Ling Xiao. Roar! The purple lightning lion, who had been hiding at the side, showed a hint of vigilance when it saw the Thunder Spirit King. It roared loudly. However, the purple lightning lion looked furry now. It was only a few feet long and did not have any fierce aura. Instead, it looked very cute. Master, the purple lightning lion is a rare species. If its bloodline is fully awakened, it will be a 9-headed purple lightning lion. It can even control the power of the 9 elements, yin-yang, 5 elements, and space-time. It is very powerful and worth nurturing. The Thunder Spirit King stared at the purple lightning lion and sighed. 9-headed purple lightning lion? This guy only has 1 head now. Is it because its bloodline is too weak? Ling Xiao asked curiously. He had only heard of some legends about the 9-headed purple lightning lion. He was not very clear about it. That is because the purple lightning lion is still in its infancy. In the future, as long as Master finds more treasures of the 9 elements for it and gradually awakens its 9 talents, a mature 9-headed purple lightning lion can even fight with the ancestral dragon and true phoenix. It is very powerful. The Thunder Spirit King said slowly. I did not expect you to have such a powerful background. Let's go. Ling Xiao stroked the purple lightning lion's furry head and exclaimed in surprise. The purple lightning lion's eyes showed a trace of pride. It held its head high and was very proud. Master, this divine firmament palace is a perfect holy treasure. After I collect it, I will give it to Master. The Thunder Spirit King said with a smile. Keep it for yourself. With this divine firmament palace, you should be able to recover your strength quickly. Ling Xiao shook his head. He did not care about a perfect holy treasure. This divine firmament palace could gather the Thunder Principal Origin energy. It was more useful for the Thunder Spirit King. Hee, thank you Master. Then I will not be polite. The Thunder Spirit King laughed excitedly. Just as he was about to collect the divine firmament palace, his face suddenly changed and a trace of anger appeared in his eyes. Damn it! How dare you kill my Thunder Spirit descendant? You must be tired of living. Chapter 1624. Rumble. Outside of the divine firmament palace, rays of light were blazing and lightning was rising. The lightning spirits were emitting dazzling rays of light that contained the origin of lightning Tao. However, at this moment, there was a giant purple dragon that was rising in the void. It contained a boundless energy fluctuation and was devouring the lightning spirits outside of the broken array. The dragon's roar shook the heavens and earth. The giant purple dragon was terrifying as it emitted an ancient and mysterious energy fluctuation. The green lightning spirits did not even have the slightest resistance as they were devoured. Although the silver lightning spirits were struggling, they could not withstand the giant purple dragon's devouring. Only those golden lightning spirits were able to resist the devouring power of the violet dragon. But atop the violet dragon, there was an extraordinarily valiant young man. His entire body was covered with a towering violet chi. He held a thunder origin bead in his hand, and his aura was terrifying. The thunder origin bead was like a violet sun. It attracted a golden lightning spirit over, and then directly crushed it into dust. Behind the young man, there was a mysterious figure with a monstrous aura. He was like a peerless heavenly emperor that could push the sun, moon, and stars. His divine aura was unpredictable. As he continued to devour the lightning spirits, his figure became more and more solid. Huang Wuji. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he immediately recognized the young man. He was Huang Wuji. His subordinates were killing the lightning spirits wantonly with the help of the 9-layered Thunder King array. The lightning spirits had turned into the purest lightning energy, causing the aura of the disciples of the 9-layered imperial obelisk to skyrocket. Their cultivation had reached the pinnacle of the divine king realm as if they could cross the nirvana tribulation and break through to the half-saint realm at any time. Those lightning spirits were the subordinates and descendants of the lightning spirit king. Now that they were being hunted by Huang Wuji, how could he not be furious? Master, do you know him? The lightning spirit king asked. He's an enemy. However, this guy is not easy to deal with. He has a Saint Tao barrier on him. It's like a turtle shell that cannot be broken. Ling Xiao said with a wry smile. Saint Tao barrier? If I was at my peak, even a Saint Tao barrier is nothing. However, I have no other choice now. Master, if you let me devour all of those lightning spirits, my cultivation will definitely be able to recover to its peak. Are we just going to watch that kid devour the lightning spirits? Thunder Spirit King said with anger and helplessness. He wants to devour all the lightning spirits? Isn't he afraid of breaking his teeth? Don't worry. Go ahead and take over the Divine Firmament Palace. Leave this guy to me. No matter how many thunder spirits he swallowed, he will spit them out for me. Ling Xiao sneered. All right. Thunder Spirit King nodded. He immediately activated the power of the holy way around his body. He formed a seal with both of his hands. Suddenly, the godly cloud palace shone brightly. Rays of light filled the air. Suddenly, the entire godly cloud palace turned into a dazzling bead. It was like a blazing sun. It fell into Thunder Spirit King's hand. It's you guys. After the Thunder Spirit King took the Divine Cloud Palace, Ling Xiao and the others were exposed in front of Huang Wuji. After Huang Wuji saw Ling Xiao, his eyes turned cold, revealing a trace of cold killing intent. Huang Wuji, we meet again. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. His eyes shone brightly as if there were lightning flashing in them. You stole my treasure and stole my mount. Kid, you deserve to die. Huang Wuji also saw the purple lightning lion following beside Ling Xiao. He was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. He tried so hard to get the mount, but it was stolen by Ling Xiao. Huang Wuji, who gave you the confidence to talk to me like that? If it wasn't for the Holy Way barrier, I would kill you like a dog. Ling Xiao sneered. Huang Wuji's eyes turned cold. He stared at Ling Xiao and said, Kid, it's not too late to regret now. Hand over the purple lightning lion and all the treasures you have. Then kneel down and admit your mistake. I can spare your life. Otherwise, even the war god of the war god shrine can't save you. Huang Wuji's aura surged. It was terrifying. The 9-layered thunder dragon formation was completely activated by him. It exploded with a terrifying destructive force. The purple lightning dragon seemed to be able to annihilate everything. A pair of blood-red moon-like eyes stared at Ling Xiao. Cut the crap. Huang Wuji, watch me break your tortoise shell. Ling Xiao's eyes were incomparably sharp. Purple divine light rose around his body. He had obtained a lot of opportunities and fortunes in the divine firmament palace. Not only had his cultivation risen to the divine king realm, but he had also obtained a lot of tribulation qi, which had tempered his limbs. Ling Xiao's arms could now shatter the sky, and his feet could shatter divine mountains. He really wanted to see how strong Huang Wuji's holy way barrier was. Boom! Ling Xiao directly threw a punch at Huang Wuji. The chaotic fist print was unparalleled, containing a kind of energy fluctuation that could destroy everything. You're courting death. Huang Wuji's expression changed slightly. He felt that Ling Xiao's strength had increased a lot. The power of this punch was terrifying. He immediately roared and controlled the 9-layered thunder dragon formation. The purple lightning dragon suddenly slapped at Ling Xiao. Kacha! The purple lightning dragon's power was unparalleled. It contained the power of heaven and earth. That slap was enough to kill an ordinary low-level half-saint. However, after colliding with Ling Xiao's punch, the light was dazzling. Ling Xiao's punch actually shattered the dragon claw of the purple lightning dragon, and then he attacked Huang Wuji. Buzz! In Huang Wuji's palm, the thunder origin bead flew towards Ling Xiao. It shot out a blazing lightning that seemed to be able to penetrate everything. At the same time, a purple crescent moon blade appeared in Huang Wuji's hand. It was like a crescent moon, and it slashed at Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's expression didn't change. His fist mark was unparalleled, and it directly shattered the lightning. Then, the space between his eyebrows shone brightly. 9 heavenly Tao primal chaos tablets appeared. At the same time, 9 chaotic divine lights intertwined and collided with the purple crescent moon blade. Rumble. Divine light spread out in all directions. The 9 heavenly Tao primal chaos tablets were unparalleled, exuding a heavy and ancient wave. They directly shattered the purple lightning dragon in the void, and then they fell towards Huang Wuji. This is the legendary heavenly Tao primal chaos tablet. Huang Wuji's expression changed, and his eyes revealed an incomparably greedy expression. The heavenly Tao primal chaos tablet was extremely famous in the divine world. It was even more famous than the thunder origin bead. It was said that if all 81 heavenly Tao primal chaos tablets were gathered, it was enough to open the myriad worlds. It was a set of top-notch sage treasures. Boom! The 9 heavenly Tao primal chaos tablets slammed on Huang Wuji's body. Boundless chaotic light gushed out, and it directly sent Huang Wuji flying.